This is 1407 Graymalkin Lane. This is the living memory of the X-Men. Don't let anyone tell you different. All right, today we're chopping it up like with friends and people I respect in the comic book community.
So why am I here?
Yeah. Everybody needs opposition, okay?
What?
Luke needs his Vader. Xavier needs his Magneto.
That's what I am. Jeez. Okay, fine. Fine. I'll be Neo. You be Agent Smith.
Right. Holmes Moriarty. Yeah. I didn't even know how to say his name at first. I was like, it's Italian? I thought it was like Moriarty. Whatever. Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Holmes and
Moriarty.
Yeah. Moriarty. Yeah. Yep. Oh, nice. Sherlock Holmes reference. I like it.
Yeah,
Hound of the Baskervilles. Damn it! Why weren't the hounds barking? Anyway, what's up, Brett?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just trying to make this channel as good as possibly can. Like it's a building process. Like I'm learning how to edit now.
Nice. Yeah, that's where it starts to get fun. I just watched your thing with Sterling, another one with Sterling and with Master Jarl. I just got finished watching that about an hour ago.
Oh yeah, we're starting our own little group, the AKPC, but I want to change it to S. It sounds more better. The Anti-Kitty Pride Society.
First off, oh yeah, I'm definitely your Magneto then, because I love some Kitty Pride.
Okay, can we just talk about all the time she gets a pass off of everything? She dropped the N-bomb. She harassed a 19-year-old Russian immigrant. She was on a team that she had no business being on, and then when Xavier did the right thing, she's like, "You're a jerk." Like, okay, and I always thought like, I'm glad Xavier is there and not me, because I would have been like, oh, like it. I would have like, oh, don't make me take off my belt, little girl.
Well, how far forward would Xavier have to lean? Because he might not be able to. He might fall out of that chair.
Well, he has mental powers. He can make something happen.
What? He can make somebody make something happen. He doesn't have telekinesis.
Danger.
You know what? Man. I say send freaking Jean Grey in there and use beltokinesis. I'll help you with your belt.
I
choke him up.
Yeah.
What? Professor X, he doesn't get he gets a pass on everything too. He had a freaking super adult crush on Jean Grey.
It was one bad thought. That
but when you're the master telepath on the world, one bad thought is life threatening.
But he didn't do. But he never followed through with it. That's like, hey, I'm going to kill my wife. Doesn't mean I'm thinking about killing my wife. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Just like I had one thought.
Is your wife home?
All right. Why are you trying? What does that have to do with anything? Stop changing the point.
Well, let's see. What did you just say? Anyway.
No. I
Kitty Pride is awesome. She's
she's cool sometimes.
She refused to toe the line and be a flat out child soldier like Professor X was recruiting.
Wow,
that's right. Now what? Now what?
If she didn't want to be a child...
that recently? Who just said that recently?
Who did?
Somebody just called them child soldiers recently.
Oh, Nightmare.
Bang, Nightmare.
Okay, fine. If she didn't want to be a child soldier, she should have joined the New Mutants, because their entire thing was they're not superheroes. These are kids learning how to use their powers. It's not Charles's fault they went out and did superhero stuff. He said, don't do it. They did it anyway. They're kids. They don't listen.
Yeah, and they were smart enough to say, screw you, Charles. Hell, you know.
You
know what? You think you know something? Tell me how to grow hair. Now what, bitch?
Wow. That's a really low blow, bro. Like.
Oh, he doesn't have hair down there either? Damn.
I mean, all he has is those eyebrows, man. He has the people's eyebrows.
That's the only hair he's got. That's the only hair he's got. Yeah, and he Rogaines that big time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
He's got the Trump. He's got the Trump hair right above his eyes, man.
That is okay. He trims that very well.
They look like tribbles, man. They're out of control, looking at Klingons all the time.
No, they look like a Timus. Oh god, man. Oh man, they're so.
Oh, we're starting this off right. I'll drink to that.
It's great. All right. I've known Bill for going on like I followed him before I got a chance to meet your. I followed your stuff before I got a chance to talk to you. Like when you start doing.
We don't live in the same city.
Of course, I don't. Stalking takes too much effort, and like I don't need that like time, and it's a whole thing. I don't need it's a commitment.
It's cool. I get it. I got like 6 restraining orders against me from Janet Jackson. I understand.
I mean, if you don't, hey, that's how Jermaine Dupri got her.
No. There you go. Is she still married to that sheikh in UAE or what?
I think so. Or I follow her Instagram and like she doesn't say anything about her relationship. So
she's smarter than most people.
Hey. She was Miss Jackson for a reason. She kept everything.
What was that one song? Sorry, Mrs. Jackson. I can't get through. What the heck was that song?
Oh, Outcast.
Yeah, that's right. That was Outcast. Shoot, nice.
How's my brain constantly in the motion of past in the present, and nobody else is? It's like, oh yeah, that sounds slap. No, we both review. Actually, I didn't get a chance to do my X-Men review yet, but I wanted to talk about it. I was very underwhelmed.
Which one was that? That was the one where with Nightmare.
Yeah,
you said you didn't read that yet.
I haven't recorded it yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I have my notes like done like day of, but
did you see my review?
I did.
Cut it right in half.
Right.
Like it was one of the most amazingly stupid comic books I've ever seen. I felt like Harvey Dent up in here. You know what I'm saying? Freaking Two-Face up in here. Let me flip a coin. Which part do I like?
Like I was a lot of it. I just didn't understand. Like, why is Cyclops feeling guilty over what he was doing? Because it's not like anybody else was doing anything.
Right.
Everybody else seemed like they were hating on him. Like Cyclops was wrong. Like, really? What did he really do that was wrong?
But like I said, I feel like that's the indication of a good leader.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you walk up and you're just like, oh yeah, I've lost people along the way, and well, that sucks. We just soldier on. It's like, nah, fool. You're responsible for every single one of these people. Being in the military, I know that it's the unit commander who has to write the letters to the spouse or mother of every soldier that you lose. And that's a horrible, you know what I'm saying? And you can't just slouch and do some standard, thing. Like it's something special. So,
Wolverine does
what?
He does that. He was like, if he had to make a call, he'd be at like half drunk, like, hey, Jubilee's mom, what you doing? Huh? No. Yeah, I mean, she's a vampire, but yeah,
she's not a vampire anymore. And you really hate Wolverine. What is this hatred? Yo, did he hurt you? Like, did he hurt you at some point in the past? Does he owe you money?
Yeah, he kind of did.
You financed his adamantium braces, didn't you?
You know what? I was on the board. Okay, I was pissed off when Wolverine in the first episode of the animated series, second issue, after they got back, he just punches Cyclops in the stomach for
no reason.
Yeah, it's like,
for no reason. Stuff like that just doesn't come out of the blue, man. Years and years of Cyclops being the boss, and Wolverine's a whole lot older. He has been in multiple wars.
He can't remember it. He can't remember most of them, though.
He remembered it. He's forgotten more than Cyclops ever knew. You know, say, listen, and he is not a leader, and he will be the first to tell you he's not a leader. At the same time, he has worked under or served under great leaders.
Okay, all right. There's too many jokes going. I'm not going there. Okay, I'm not going there with you. It's like, but so like, all right. I love Wolverine. I just think that people give him way too much of a wide berth. He's able to commit murder, stalk people, kidnap little girls and take them to foreign countries.
She was mind controlled. Kitty was mind controlled.
I'll talk about Jubilee.
Oh, apparently she's done this. He's done this more than once.
Hey man,
I
hey,
never liked Jubilee, so I never followed anything with Jubilee. I couldn't stand her. Could not stand. I know people are like, I love Jubilee. Man, screw that. Jubilee. Little Robin wannabe.
You're against Asian people. That's what it is. You're against Asian
We're doing
people.
this. Hey, listen, man, we could pull out a Dave Chappelle comedy special that just came out and really have a talk about that.
Oh, okay. Let's talk. All right. Hot take. Mystique is not trans. She's just a woman who can just change back and forth. I don't understand why people keep thinking that she's trans.
I mean, like multiple trans back and forth. She could do whatever she wants.
I mean, but she identifies as a woman though. Like anytime she goes to her like base form, it's a woman.
Did she ever say that she identifies as a woman?
You're right.
Did this other woman verbally give consent, or did she just not give consent?
You know, these are questions that need to be asked.
This is what I'm talking about.
These are deep questions. And then when I ask these questions, like, oh, you're thinking about it too hard. No, you're not thinking about it deep enough.
There you go.
Like that whole thing about Nightcrawler being Mystique and Destiny's Child. That doesn't make any sense because Nightcrawler would have to, Nightcrawler would have to, all right, see, genetics. There's a lot of people don't understand. Like, Nightcrawler looks like his dad, but it has his mom's coloring. Mom's coloring.
First off, I hate the dad thing. I hate that. Oh my god, that was just the dumbest thing in the world. I'm like, you actually made his dad a demon? Like, do you have zero creativity?
Hey, it was 2003. Demons were the thing. And also, hot take. I don't think Azazel is actually a demon. I think he's from Morocco, but he just got exiled
to hell.
He would think Morocco was hell.
He would think Morocco was hell?
Morocco, yeah. I would have to deal with
Araco. Okay.
Yeah, Araco.
Oh yeah, I haven't been reading all the X-Men comic books, so I didn't know about that.
Oh no, it's just like you gotta piece things together. Like, okay, because a lot of these villains don't really know where they are. That's why I think.
It's a possibility. They all need GPSs.
Yeah, or a map.
Learn it. Well, most people don't know how to read a map nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I know how to read a map. Somebody just today was like, check out this compass I got. It's really awesome compass. Like, this actually is a good compass. You spent more than $100 on this, didn't you? Yeah, cool. Shoot an azimuth for me, huh? Why did you buy this compass? You don't know how to use the compass. Like, what? It points north. Is that true north or magnetic north? Which one? Well, it's magnetic north. I was like, you got one right. Literally, like, oh man, people don't. And talk about a map. Nobody knows how to use a map anymore. Come on.
Hey, people have Google now. People can learn how to use a map through Google. Like, so you follow the lines.
One power outage. Where's your Google? Where's your map quest?
Hey, you know what? Just know where you go. Just know where you want to go.
Okay.
Remember how it was where you were making plans with friends, like, hey, we're gonna meet at this spot at this time. You didn't have to, like, there was no.
Yeah, but we didn't sit there and like find out, oh yeah, the food bank, since everything is shut down and you can't get food anymore, is over here. And it's like, you've never been to the food bank. Oh, you don't know how to read a map. Just guess, lick your finger and put up against the wind. You'll figure it out. It's the one that smells like Alpo, because that's probably what they got left by the time you get there. Like, come on, man.
Alpo. Oh, God, that's rough. Oh.
Alpo used to make I think they were the C rats or the K rats for the military way back in the day.
That's rough. That's rough. Well,
no, they didn't taste like. I'm sure I never actually had them. I mean,
there you go.
My time, but Mattel made the plastic parts for the M16.
All right. I mean, toy companies making guns.
We're going all over the place.
It makes sense. Like. Okay.
So what'd you think about X-Men #4?
I was really underwhelmed. Like, when they brought in Nightmare, I was like, oh, this is okay. I like Nightmare because last time I saw him was in this old Generation X book, 22, where and they found out that, hey, Emma Frost has a history with Nightmare. That's interesting. But like, like we just saw Jean Grey essentially bitch slap him. Like,
That was just a bit too much. It's
and
like I could see her kicking him out of her head.
right.
I could see her doing something like that. Just be like, you better get out. Like, I just want to say, like, maybe I don't even need to see the Phoenix Force, but just something where it's like, something like, even if she would have like send a nightmare to him and introduce him to the Phoenix Force, like with her memories, something like that would be like, oh shoot, wow, nice, like something that Nightmare can be afraid of. But just showing up and being all like, I'm an Omega level mutant, Omega level telepath, and Omega level telekinesis, which is actually psychokinesis, and
Yeah.
telekinesis is just a part of psychokinesis. But you know what? Nowadays writers don't need to know
Semantics.
that. So yeah, it's all semantics. But yeah, I'm so powerful. What are you doing here? You don't belong here. Oh my god! And I'm like, are you just looking for a Yas Queen moment? Because I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Look, kick him out of your head, sure. Kick him out of the other X-Men's heads, sure. I get it. But like, just bitch slapping him like that. This is a guy who rules over his own universe. Dude, you know what?
Talk
One
about
of
it.
the things that I saw Master Jarl say on the thing, he said, if it was Professor X, people would have been like, oh, well, it's awesome. He did that stuff. No, I'd actually be even more angry because I would have to put Nightmare on a lesser or maybe equal plane to the Shadow King.
I mean,
I haven't read all the X-Men comics ever, but has Professor X just whooped the Shadow King's ass at any moment?
and yeah, I mean, it's been done, but like usually the Shadow King always like does these little sneak attacks. Like he'll always get on like say you're using
Yeah,
the
he
bathroom,
flanks
he'll
him and
come at
snuff
you with
him.
it. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be like, watch this hand. You know what I'm saying? Slap him with that hand.
Hey. No.
Exactly.
You know,
But
essentially
I mean, if Professor X would have done the exact same thing to him, I'd been like, really?
okay.
Really? Like I said, it's not to me, it's never about showing how powerful your hero is. It's about being smart and recognizing that you don't job out your villains
Right.
because you know a thing by its opposite.
Mm-hmm.
The hero is nothing without something to champion or to be a hero against.
Right.
So if all of your villains are punks,
Why is the hero there? Yeah.
yeah.
I always thought that Nightmare or the Shadow King was basically the equivalent of Freddy Krueger, which
they've done other things with Freddy Krueger and said he's a demon prince and baloney like that. I don't know, but like the Shadow King essentially is the astral plane.
yeah.
So like I don't know, taking headcanon out of it and why he doesn't go after Doctor Strange, who certainly uses the astral plane more than any of the X-Men do combined. But even then, even in the game systems, Doctor Strange isn't as powerful in the astral plane as he is in the earthen plane.
Right.
He just has certain things that are special. Like he knows how to use his weapons and his talismans in the astral plane. Even though he can't take his body, he can make an astral form or an astral projection of all of his toys that he uses.
Right. Yeah.
So that's and nobody else is as talented. None of the enemies that he fights on the astral plane are as talented as him on the astral plane. So it's like, it's a thing. But magic isn't as powerful on the astral plane as psychic ability is.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when it comes to astral plane, like somebody like Professor X or Jean Grey would be able to wipe the floor with Doctor Strange if they really wanted to. They could. He'd have to start getting tricky and doing some things like that.
Right.
Which he certainly could. But anyway, but like the Shadow King essentially is the astral plane. I've always looked at it as if the astral plane disappears, he disappears, and vice versa.
See, the thing about that, they always say they kind of go back. They said the Shadow King, he's kind of like Mojo in a sense, like he's across all dimensions. Like you can't really get rid of him. Like and I think that kind of goes with to say he is the astral plane, but they
Across all
haven't really.
dimensions, that there is only one astral plane.
Yeah, but
So
it goes out to all dimensions. Like
yes, yeah, it does.
like a cloud.
So it's almost like all the dimensions would connect, and maybe some other writers come along and done something different, but they've always the understanding I've always had of the astral plane is that there's one astral plane. You can have 40 different Earths, a
Right.
billion different Earths, and
Right.
different, Earth 616, whatever, but
Yeah.
it all connects to one astral plane.
Right.
So so therefore there's only one Shadow King, which would give sense to why he's not always attacking the Earth, because he is. It's just different Earths.
Right. Just the Shadow King. Just he's.
But likewise, there's Nightmare, and although there are technically different nightmares, still he's the sole master. As long as there are people who can dream, he will still have the ability to survive. And there is no such thing as disbelieving him, like with a Freddy Krueger. You could disbelieve him and he can't mess with you. No, Nightmare, even though he can't attack you while you're awake, he can only attack you while you're asleep or in the astral plane.
Right.
But his the dream dimension is not the astral plane. It's very different, and he's the most powerful on his dream plane. Here's the thing that's so special about what the Dream Weaver and Dream King, what Nightmare does. He actually takes the sleeping person and pulls you into his dimension.
Yeah.
So you are fighting him on his own turf.
Mm-hmm.
You have a chance of beating Mephisto outside of hell, but inside of hell, what are you going to do? What are you going to do against this Joker?
You're gonna sit. You're gonna sit down and take. You're gonna sit down and get that Coke with a smile, and
you turn around and bend over and take it like you got to, because
like you're on that show Oz.
I never watched that, but I've heard rapey things about
it. Yeah, I only saw one episode, and it kind of scarred me on how I viewed J.K. Simmons. Like he played an Aryan part of the Aryan Brotherhood who was very manipulative, and
what movie?
Oh no, Oz. He was on Oz.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, man.
Okay.
And he like every time I see him now, I'm like.
So Whiplash gave you some flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, good.
Spider-Man's a menace, and you're a Nazi, mother fathead.
Right? like
look at you pointing fingers.
Right? You don't say nothing about Captain America beating up all your Nazi pals.
Right? Hail Sig, biatch.
Right? Like, you see that photo with you and Almond Zoll? Oh, besties? Besties? What kind of BS is that, bro?
Oh man.
No, it's just like also that Wolverine thing. She doesn't want to love him. Like, that's a really weird thing to do. Like, it's like she doesn't want to get the memories because she knows, like, if I do this, I'm gonna fall in love with him. I kind of thought that as so she's a stupid person.
I've always seen that as such a weird relationship. Wolverine falls for any old redhead. Any old redhead. If Heather Hudson were to come back and talk about, you got to take me to be your one and only, and I'll wear the glasses with you too, he would do it, and he would
single now.
Forget about Jean.
She is
and if Jean were to come up and say instead and say, I will drop Cyclops, but I got to be your one and only, and that's it, and he would do it.
Yeah, but they'll die in like 2 months.
Wolverine and Jean?
No. The one like the redhead would die. Like any woman that Wolverine gets serious with, they all die.
Well, Silver Fox didn't.
Yes,
they retconned that. Remember?
Yeah.
No, she just loved the retcon. All of a sudden, she's a super ninja assassin and jacking fools up. Like, what? Couldn't she have just been a frail, like Sabretooth called her?
Yeah.
Couldn't she have just been a frail, someone who he loved, and it scarred him for life? And the only non-redhead he was with, apparently,
Yeah. There have been other non-redheads Wolverine's been with.
I'm saying the original.
Oh yeah, the original. Oh yeah.
Like this, I thought that was a beautiful story. It's like it explains why you hate Sabretooth so much. It explains so much. I would love to have seen a story why Sabretooth hates him so much.
Okay. Okay. I have a theory about that.
Okay.
I think Wolverine, before he got the mind wipe, he was essentially like Ricky Spanish. He was just the worst. That's why Omega Red, Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, all hate him because he screwed them over so many times.
You know, I like that better than the idea that Wolverine comes from the wolf tribe and Sabretooth comes from the wolf and the cat tribe, and that's why they hate each other. You remember they did that with the whole
Yeah.
Sabretooth goes to hell thing? I'm like, this is the time that I get off of reading comic books for a while. That was literally one of the reasons why I said I'm done with comic books for a little while. I won't be buying anymore. I was working in a bookstore at the time. We sold comic books, and I was like, I'm done.
See, I don't understand. Like they always like keep it simple. Sabretooth and like Sabretooth and Wolverine, they don't like each other. It is what it is. It's just people want to put so much myth. They want to mythalize it. Like want to say like it's this classic. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys. Like it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. It's never been that deep.
Now, actually, it could be exactly that because the Hatfields and McCoys never remembered why they hated each other.
Yeah, but like the McCoys had it was more than just the one Hatfield. He had kids. Wolverine has kids that he doesn't see. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay, we could change the subject.
No, sorry. No, just
whatever.
No.
Wolverine's not going to get Father of the Year. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
Like Wolverine.
But at the same time, you know what? At the same time, Wolverine is very animalistic. So you know what? Let's play devil's. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a hot minute, and let's think about this.
So,
human beings are the only animals who rear their young for as long as they do. 18 plus years. If there's like a failure to launch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like 18 plus years, dude. Most animals, it's like you have just been born. You're still bloody as hell. Stand up and walk. You get 2 chances because I'm leaving now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and it's not just carnivores. Deer do that. You know, like there's a lot of different kinds of animals out there, and Wolverine is very animalistic. So maybe that's just his thing. Like, dude, if you can't walk on your own, it's on you.
But those animals that you described, they're not. Humans were mammals. If you look at apes or like they would take their children, they take care of the children as I don't know how long, but I know they
not very long at all. And all mammals, deer, bear, and mammals, we're mammals. Gorillas are mammals. But you know that one of the thing with gorillas, when they first start knocking boots, even the mothers will abandon those children at first because they don't understand what happened. First time mothers in the gorilla family will actually abandon their child. They'll just look at them and leave them, and they'll be like right over here, and the baby's crying, and just like, I don't know how that happened. They didn't figure it out. You know,
that teenage pregnancies in the gorilla families.
Right? That's but I mean, like that's the thing, and even then, you'll rear the young for only but so long. You know, so no animal gets reared for as long as animals do. You know what I'm saying? Human babies, but said that wrong.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think that's comes from a place of entitlement because we don't have any predators. Like we've never been like not really. We don't have any like major.
No, yeah, we're top of the food chain.
Yeah.
And some people don't understand what that means. Yes, we are top of the food chain. There is no creature that actively hunts us.
Right.
So we are the top of our own particular food chain. Not on the food web, but on that particular strand. Yes, we are the top of it. We have no natural predators.
We're the tippy top.
There are plenty of animals, the leopard or the jaguar, I should say, that will happily hunt us if we happen to be out there. Yeah. But yeah, there's nothing like.
They're lazy. They don't like. I don't want those problems.
It's not like freaking cheetahs and gazelle. Or gazelle sees a cheetah and it's like, oh, my mortal enemy, run.
I always thought gazelles like they're like all right, let's eat for a second. Like, hey, you know there's a cheetah over there, right? Yeah, go. Like, what about Billy?
You run that way, I'll run this way. Trip.
Like, what about Billy? I don't even know Billy.
I don't even like Billy.
Right?
Billy owes me money. Now I'm never going to see that money. Shoot.
He took my girlfriend.
You ever seen? I think it was the cheetahs and the gazelles that he was talking about. You ever seen Richard Pryor? I think it was Live at the Sunset Strip.
Yeah,
he was talking about that.
Yeah,
he was like, this cheetah was running, and the gazelle went like whoop, like that, and the cheetah slid for like 10 feet on his face and got up like, oh, mother, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
See, it's not about hunger anymore. It's like, you embarrass me in front of the cheetah girls.
They were taking
Okay.
pictures. That's
Like,
going on Nat Geo. Like, dude.
It's like, oh, Nat. Oh my god, that'd be funny if there was like a Nat Geo Peter Parker. Like, that's what Craven is. That's what Craven is.
I always seen him more as like an animal voyeur.
Right. No, like
he's out there he's watching the animals hump each other, and he's just out of the back like, you and me, baby, we ain't nothing but mammals.
Like he'll go to a lion cut. He'll go to a lion pride. All the females like, hey, Craven. It's like, how you doing, ladies?
You like my necklace,
right?
My mane.
I like it. It's really drippy right now. Like, ooh, good thing I'm not in heat. I'm like, what?
Oh man.
But I would say X-Men it is probably like the low end this week. Like, it's like, wow, this, I didn't really care about this week at all.
X-Force
was better. I totally like Beast. I get it. I get like all right. I understand where Beast is coming from because it's from I've said this on the Discord. It started from issue 1. Beast was you remember Beast was tracking that one animal, and it almost jumped, and Wolverine took care of it, and Wolverine said like, you're like, this place makes you soft, and when you're soft, you're a target. I'm like, okay, that's a weird thing to say to your buddy.
It was like the weirdest thing. It was the biggest juxtaposition because everybody thought that it was a paradise, but as soon as you see Wolverine, he's gonna find the one bit of trouble on that island.
Right. Right. And then later on, when they got attacked by the Reavers, everybody's like, oh, we got stupid, we got careless, we should always be on the, like, Wolverine and Jean make knee-jerk reactions. Like, they were all cool in the beginning, but you let Beast make a couple of mistakes, let a couple of countries get terraformed, and all of a sudden you're a monster. Okay, calm down, Jean. You shouldn't be talking to me. Aren't you still making payments on that galaxy you destroyed? No, we're not talking about that. No, okay, well, fine. Oh, Wolverine. When's the last time you seen your kids? Any of them? Like, you see them. I don't
know what any of this has to do with their island being attacked, man.
No, just
dude, let's talk about freaking Chip Zdarsky writing the worst book he's ever written. And this is a guy who writes amazing books, and he wrote 4 horrible books. That Fantastic Four versus X-Men thing, X-Men versus Fantastic Four. Worst 4 books I've ever seen this guy write. I looked at this as like, this wasn't Chip Zdarsky. This was somebody posing as him, and we got to file a missing persons for this man because, like, he's not the Red Snail anymore. This dude, he got ganked someplace, put him on a milk carton.
He got chloroformed. So I came out, right? Like I don't know, probably Rob Liefeld. He's like,
Rob Liefeld.
She say his name 5 times. He
appears in the mirror. Comes behind him with the chloroform. You're going down, buddy. He's got like the big Liefeld, freaky face.
Yeah. And then Chip Zdarsky's like, like,
just stuffs you in a pouch someplace. He's got a whole bunch of closets there shaped like pouches.
Right.
Got to unbutton it.
And you find out, and Zdarsky finds out that Peter David's down there. Like, Ralph Liefeld's still a little pissed off over the fact that he made Shatterstar and Ritter a couple. He's like,
right? You made him gay?
Like, what is with you people?
When did this happen?
Like 2006. That's not the point.
That means nothing.
Oh,
did it make the character more popular? No.
Like, That's not my whole thing with Iceman. Like he was a goof, and now they turned him. And you're like, so you're just a gay goof now? Like what does it do? What are you doing? You're a dummy.
That's a subject that a lot of people are back and forth on too. What they just made John Kent gay.
Yeah, or bi or something. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I don't know.
Is he bisexual or gay? I don't know.
I hear bisexual. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, like,
I know somebody. I saw some writers and artists get online on Twitter, and they're like, "You don't have the same argument because he's not a legacy character, so they can change him up and do what they want with him." Yeah, you're correct. But all you do is bring up the point and you belabor the question that there's still all these legacy characters. Iceman, right?
Yeah.
We're talking X-Men mostly.
Yeah. Right.
You know, Iceman, what do you call it? Tim Drake, you know, all these characters who it's like, is North Star going to be made straight just to, you know, let's see how that feels.
Yeah.
Let's see how that
feels. I always wanted to see that. I always wanted to see that. Just like
is North Star just going to be all of a sudden like, you know?
Sorry,
like,
Kyle.
Because like, what would happen? Yeah, right. What would happen if they do that? How much outrage would there be? The argument always that, oh, it's not the same.
It is.
No, it is the same. It is literally exactly the same. This is your thing, and it's not like it's not that it personally affects me. It's one of those things where it's like, here's this thing with this character that we've been doing for a while. I've been reading this character, it's like this, and that's how it's always been. And then you turn around and you change something about the character. You didn't do it. Sometimes people do it because, oh, I want to try and do good things in the world. And I understand the need to want to do good in the world, to help people, to try and make, you know, inclusivity, whatever it is. I genuinely understand that. But there's a point where you have to stop and think to yourself, is that actually helping anything? One, if a white person decides to make a black character, how familiar are you with black people? Because if you're making a white character, obviously it's not going to represent every white person, but does the black character you made represent any black person or group or anything along those lines? Does it represent East or West Africans? Does it represent any African? Does it represent African Americans? Does it represent people in the African American experience in Canada, perhaps? Or how about in England? Does it represent fucking anybody? No. The answer is no. Therefore, maybe, just maybe, how about the diversity should be in the hiring? So you want to make a black character, Mr. White person? That's fine. You're fired. We don't need you anymore. You can go on the unemployment line. We're going to hire a black person who can actually do this. How about that?
Absolutely.
Because if that's what we're going to talk about here, that's what Steve Ditko used to talk about all the time. He said, I will never try and do something like that. There are better people than me to do. And this was a very, the Ayn Randian philosophy, objectionism idea that he always had. There are better people out there to do the things that you're talking about. I will make characters that I believe in. I will make characters that I can understand and that I can, you know, be their voice because I am their voice.
Right.
So, and this is from the guy who co-created Spider-Man and almost entirely created Doctor Strange, not to mention all these other characters.
The list goes on.
You know? So like that's the thing. There are too many people trying to do things that they're not qualified to do. And doing these changes, it's one of those things where it's like, for me, it does affect me because I stop and I say, you just did what is essentially a change that is not going to unchange.
Right.
You can't redo. Nobody's going to be able to necessarily make Iceman straight again. Right? Not that it even, honestly, not that it even matters. No. Nothing like that matters. But Iceman was straight and now he's gay. Okay. Can you undo that? Can you unscrew that light bulb? No, you can't, because then all of a sudden they'd start saying, oh, you're anti-gay, or, you know, you're not an ally and whatever, you know, things like that. So here's the thing, and this was Bendis, this particular one was Bendis. So by making at first just young Iceman gay, whatever, but then making, because I don't care about that. That's like, okay, this is a different, an alternate dimension Iceman. Maybe this guy's gay. But then to make adult senior Bobby gay, what exactly were you hoping that was going to accomplish? Was this literally just the one black friend thing? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Oh, I'm responsible for lots of diversity. I made Iceman gay. Okay. Here's something. If a man is a sexist his whole entire life, if he is a misogynist his whole entire life, and then he gets married to a woman, is he no longer a misogynist?
No, he's
Does that magically go away?
He's a married misogynist.
Now you're a married misogynist, and now I feel sorry for this woman who you're with.
Unless she's beating him.
Maybe she's a misandrist. Maybe they're a perfect couple. But the idea is, just because you do this one thing, it is literally the definition of a token act that you just did. It is, this is my one black friend. See, I'm not racist, or I'm not anti-gay. Look, I made a gay person. You know, say like, no, dude, this literally, did the sales suddenly skyrocket?
No.
Right? Or did they drop? Like, at the end of the day, what good came out of this? And don't give me a feeling, because with all due respect, fuck your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Right?
The world does not care about your feelings.
Exactly. Nobody cares. Nobody. No, I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you feel. I don't know you. You mean nothing to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I hope that you're having a good day. That's the best I can do. I can't be here for your life.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
So, you don't exist unless as far as I'm concerned, you don't exist when I'm not around. It's like, all this is me.
Exactly. You could be dead and I would never know, unless all of a sudden I saw, hey, who's been writing my X-Men comic book lately? I don't think about you unless I'm actually opening up an X-Men comic and I'm like, oh, who wrote this X-Men comic? Like, I don't think about you. Like, at the end, sorry. I'm sorry. That's just the way that the world works. And anybody who says otherwise is either insane or they're lying. You know what I'm saying? They either have a serious mental deformity, not even a deficiency, a deformity, or they're lying. And chances are they're lying. Yeah. So I don't care about your feelings. Congratulations, you feel good. You also just literally did something entirely pointless. 100% pointless. What was the point of this?
You know,
what did you hope to gain? Because that's important to understand also, because whatever you hope to gain, I promise you, you did not achieve that. So at some point, does somebody stop and say, hey, I happen to be in charge of this stuff. Guys, let's not. Let's see if maybe there's a better way to do this. Because, I mean, realistically, the stuff that they've done with Iceman and whatnot, now the only thing, I don't see Iceman using his powers to go after people and whatnot, except that one issue of the Marauders.
Oh, that was cool.
That was an amazing scene.
Where he froze off the
dude's arms.
Broke off.
He was one of the main things responsible for the nesting dolls and the new Reavers and all this stuff, because he got angry. But you know what didn't really happen in there? I didn't have to think about his relationships, because relationships are a side thing.
Exactly.
I want to see I want to see the X-Men whooping ass, and on the side, I'm cool with hearing freaking. I don't know if you remember the first appearance of. I think it was the first appearance of Nimrod.
Okay.
Way back in the day, Wolverine was sitting. Oh no! Actually, I'm thinking of something different, because Juggernaut was in it. The first appearance was him versus Juggernaut. That was the first time Juggernaut straight up got his ass whooped. Like, he got jobbed in a heartbeat. It was to Nimrod. No, Wolverine and Nightcrawler and Colossus. Yes, we're sitting down in the bar. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
they're sitting in the bar, and all of a sudden Wolverine's like, "That's Kane Marco." He's like, I was thinking about whooping Petey's ass because of what he did to Shadowcat, but you know what? I'm gonna let my man's Kane Marco over there whoop your ass instead.
see, this is why I could never be all the X-Men with Wolverine, because he were to do something like that, I'm like, square up. No, you little drunk dwarf. You want to come at me? You come at the king. You better not miss. All right, I will.
That's
I don't
also from Oz, right?
yeah,
I've seen that clip.
yeah.
That's a very famous clip. That was memed.
Hey,
Yes.
thank you, appreciate it. So, like, there's so many times when Wolverine, like, he needs his ass whooped.
Well, in
Like,
that particular case, Petey needed his ass whooped.
oh no. Okay, he admitted to Kitty that he slept with another woman, and he said, like, I can't be with you. I'm way too old. And she's like, oh my God, I'm 13. I should have everything I want. And like Wolverine's like, oh, you should be back with her. Like, she's a child. It doesn't matter.
Was she 13? I thought she was
14. 13, 14 years old. Yeah.
Yo, Chris Claremont, I said it before, I'm saying it again. Chris Claremont's a
nasty motherfucker.
There's something going on with that dude.
Hey.
Jim Shooter used to keep on having to, he told me personally about it.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, Chris Claremont kept trying to get the X-Men in drag. Within a year after, what do you call it? After Shooter was fired from Marvel, all of a sudden the X-Men are in drag. And the comic sales dropped.
Oh God. Oh God. Like everybody talks about Claremont. I don't understand. I understand Claremont is the GOAT.
No,
he's not.
See, that's the thing. When you know the behind the scenes, Ann Nocenti and one of the killers of Superman, Walt Simonson's wife. I know her name. She's more popular than him. Louise, thank you. Jeez, why can't I remember freaking? I got her face in my head and everything. Anyways, Louise Simonson and Ann Nocenti were sitting down for an interview with Chris Claremont. They were on a couch. Claremont was in the middle.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that one. Yeah, it was
right?
during the documentary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at one point he was like, yeah, Shooter, you know, he tried to stop me from doing so many things. He kept changing things, and the Phoenix thing and all this stuff. And they were both like, oh, come, like they totally cover. They tried to make him feel better, and they were laughing about it. But they were basically saying, dude, shut the fuck up. Like Shooter stopped you from doing stupid stuff constantly. Claremont didn't want there to be any repercussions from the Phoenix. Yeah, for Jean, for Phoenix destroying that planet, that galaxy, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Claremont said, no, there has to be a consequence. There needs to be a consequence. Look what she just did. If you're going to do that, there has to be a consequence for it.
Boom.
And look, one of the most reverberating themes throughout the X-Men lore forever has been the consequence, the backlash of that.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, there have been so many things that he fixed on that. Jean Grey. What's one of the best Jean Grey moments ever?
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, yeah. What's one of the most heartbreaking scenes in that?
Oh, when she tells Cyclops like I need to die. You need to kill me. That's
when she dies.
Because you know that she doesn't want to do it. She's looking at the bigger picture because that's on Jean to me. That's Jean. But also nobody ever talks about how all the other stuff she did during the Claremont run, like the way she basically became a stepmom. She kind of took Madeline Pryor's family. There's a movie about that.
But anyway, her dying, Chris Claremont didn't have an idea for how to end the Dark Phoenix saga. So Shooter, he's going back and forth and all these things, and Shooter's like, listen, you got to just end it, and you just got to do it the right way. That's the thing.
Right.
So so Claremont just pops his head into the office one day, says, you know what? I'm gonna fucking kill her. And Shooter's like,
cool.
Okay, done. He's like, what? No, you can't kill her. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, why'd you say it? I just want to show you that you can't do anything. He's like, okay, I'm going to show you that you can. I'm the boss, and now I'm telling you, you have to kill her. He's like, I can't. I can't. And he's walking off, and he's literally mumbling insanely down the hallway. I've got to fucking kill her? Like, literally, his exact words coming out of his mouth. I've got to fucking kill her? He didn't understand. And look, the most beautiful thing that's happened in the X-Men in forever.
Jim Shooter, the unsung hero of the X-Men.
Of comics.
Just Jim, okay, Claremont. there's a lot of really problematic stuff during his run.
Your
It's
thing about the N-word, again, that was him.
oh
Kid,
yeah, God
Kid
loves
Pride.
man
Oh, it's
kills.
the same thing. How many
It's not.
times has a white person said something to the effect of, and even when I was younger, I was even guilty of saying stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, how many times has a white guy said, "Oh, saying such and such is basically the N-word for white people," and lots of different people have said things like that. It's like there's no such thing as an N-word for anybody else. There is none.
No,
So,
no, it's just weird. Like,
yeah.
and like it just and Chris Claremont Kitty Pryde is the one I don't really enjoy. But later on, she's cool. I mean, yeah, she becomes a serial cheater.
And that
Everyone,
was God Loves Man Kills, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I've got that over here.
She
I've
actually
got all my
dropped.
Marvel graphic novels over here. Yeah, it was one of those things. It really was bad writing
Yeah,
that just it slipped through whatever. I don't know if Shooter directly approved it or not. Um, I don't know if he directly approved that or not. Was that no, that couldn't have been because he actually created the Shooter must have approved it or it just slipped by him either way. You know what? I should ask him about that one of these days. Um anyway, the, it was one of those things where it's like it was bad writing. It shouldn't have been said.
yeah.
It was one of those few times where the implication. Look, one of the reasons why so many of us love the X-Men is because nothing is stated plainly. It's always implied that these guys are the others, right? So you've always seen them as this is the plight of the black man.
Yeah.
Mutants are the black man. I've always seen them as these are the Italians who, you know, back in the day, and even to this day, we still get a crap load of, you know, nonsense. I've gotten stopped by police just because of my last name. You know, like when they know I'm coming to, you know, for an interview or whatever. Not an interview. What was it? Like 4 years ago, I went to in Jersey to get a license for driving a bus. I
Right.
actually never wound up getting the job, but I was thinking maybe I'll add this on to
Yeah.
my truck driving license because it'll bring my insurance down. All the little placards or whatever that I have attached to my thing, it'll bring my insurance down. So I thought I'll just go do this. It'll be really nice and easy. But I had to get fingerprints for that. Once I signed up for that, all of a sudden it ticked off a red alarm, an Italian name, and I'm not joking because the cop was actually honest and he admitted. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I've also seen it as the plight of the Native Americans, you know, the indigenous peoples. Jews will see them as the plight of Jews, right? And gay people can clearly see them as, you know, for gays, like or just the LGBTQ
Yeah.
community, you know.
I see the Avengers. That they're more the Avengers now. Like the LG.
I guess now, but even back in the day, X2,
Yeah.
when Bobby Drake's mom, Iceman's mom, actually says to him, "Have you ever tried not being a mutant?" That
Okay.
is exactly right out of "Have you ever tried not being gay?"
Okay. Here's the thing about that. I was like 17, 18 years old when that movie came out. Did not understand. I thought I thought they were being literal. Can you just not be a mutant? Just like
Well,
doesn't
but
look at it.
because that's how incredible it was. It was all through innuendo. It was all subtle. Nobody came right out and said, "Hey," and I hate to do
Please.
it, but the person 100% responsible for that was Jim Shooter. He said, "You're not going to do all these things. We're not going to make this some liberal thing. Like you have your beliefs, I have my beliefs. We all believe for essentially the same thing, equal rights and everybody, but we can't make comics too damn political."
Mhm.
You know, we can do it subtly. We can do it so that an observant reader can recognize it or can see it. They can interpret it that way. But we're not going to come right out and say, "Bang, bang, 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 bang." This is not a protest.
Yes.
So, and I thought it was great because this way everybody can see. If they would have just simply said, "Oh, the X-Men are about gay rights," well,
Yeah.
then black people and indigenous people and, you know, so on and so forth aren't going to see themselves in that anymore.
Right.
They want it to be anybody who felt like you were an other. These people are you.
Yeah.
You know, and it was wonderful. It was beautiful to see something like that.
I love it.
Once they took the innuendo out of the comics, it's like, I don't know why you thought that was a good idea.
I still blame Chris Claremont for that because he's the king of that.
Well, yeah, the second that he did the N-word in there, it's like,
like
that's
all the innuendos, all the subtext. I'm like, okay, I think just me. I think subtext is a coward's way. Like if you were like, say it. Don't do this little tiptoeing around. Just say it. It's not gonna like, all right, fine. Kitty Pryde is in love with Rachel and Ileana. Cool. How does that work with the character? How does that make her a better character? Because essentially she's gonna have to choose between one or the other.
Wait,
and
did they do that?
no, I mean it's always been Chris Claremont even said like Rachel and Ileana are like her girls.
Yeah, they're her best friends. I've never seen them as being lesbian for each other.
See, hey, you have not been on TikTok. There's a bunch of people who think that. Like he's like,
first off, if you're on TikTok, you're like 14.
okay,
so
first of all,
I don't care about
first
that.
First of all, that's how I learned how to edit and keep it up with social issues. Okay.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to find something positive out of something like that. But like, that's like TikTok is worse than Twitter.
TikTok is scary. Like you bring up, and you always have to be super aggressive, like super confrontational with everything. It is kind of funny.
Honestly, I hate the whole online social media thing. For crying out loud, like somebody having a mental breakdown or somebody having a
just having a bad day.
Yeah, bad day or something like that. But even like a medical condition, an epileptic fit.
Right.
Like I've seen people have I've had one person have an epileptic fit right in front of me. We were in high school, it was gym class. Guy goes and puts the weights back up, but it slips off and like half of the bar hits him in the head.
Ooh.
And like the spotter's there in a heartbeat and like and pulls it up. But the guy right away starts having an epileptic seizure right there. And everybody's like, holy crap. And they're looking around like, call somebody. Somebody else runs over and they put their fist inside of his mouth so he doesn't bite off his own tongue. Right. Nowadays, the health teacher, later on taught us, you stick your wallet in there or his wallet. You don't put your fist because then he could bite you and like it's a way that AIDS can transmit and stuff like that. And so, okay, cool.
Yeah, Wesley, don't put your whole hand in his mouth.
But what happens nowadays? Right. Everybody just starts, oh, shoot. Oh, and they all start,
it's a spectator sport.
They all start, they're all, yes. It's like, dude, this nonsense. Could you imagine if we were talking to each other like this, as opposed to like this?
I got my COVID vaccine.
Yeah, I got my COVID. But anyway,
I'm like, okay, you're responsible.
But like, could you like? No, everybody, like, why does everybody have such aggression towards each other? Oh, because realistically, you're just something to film, or you're not.
And also everybody's the hero in their own story, and like if you don't like this other person, they're the villain. It's just, that doesn't make any sense. TikTok
one of the most heroic things you can do in life is just try and not be in other people's way.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I feel bad even try to like just doing nice stuff for people, because I was at a bakery and this lady ahead of me was with her daughter and she couldn't pay for everything, and I said, don't worry about it, I'll pay for it. Like didn't give her my name, didn't say. I was like, hey, I'll just do it. And she's thinking like, oh no, what's your name? I'll pay you back. And don't even worry about it. And just keep it moving. I feel like that's how you have to do it now. You got to be like, come in, swoop in, leave.
She was cool about it?
Yeah, she was totally cool about it.
Fantastic.
Like,
nice.
Like, I saw that she was really like her and her daughter, like they were really happy to see each other. So I was like, you know what? I'm not like, let's have their full day.
I hope that they weren't scamming you. I hope that you don't see them doing the same thing next week. Hey, but either way, sorry, right. Sorry to dump on you like that.
No, I get it, but like I don't go to that place that often, so I figured I did my good deed for the day.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you want to be a good person, you're not looking for the recognition. You're just like, you're helping this one person get through their day. It's like if somebody falls down, you help them up. Like, hey, you good? All right, watch yourself next time, because I won't be here.
No, don't give the advice. Just let it. You good? All right, man. All right, just walk off. Just walk off. Don't give unsolicited advice. No, and more people would understand. This is one of the ways, guys, this is one of the ways you talk to girls. You want to compliment a girl, give her the compliment and walk away. Don't even wait for oh, thank you. Just literally. Because otherwise it's kind of creepy. Hey girl, you're looking good. Oh, thank you. Well, them digits. What?
It's like
A compliment isn't worth that.
time it. You gotta time it. Do the good thing, and then like, okay, I have 10 seconds to say something. Go.
Right.
Go.
No, like there are times, and this shook my confidence when I was younger. There are times, like you're walking into like the movie theater or whatever. This is what happened to me in a movie theater, and you hold open the door for the person behind you. And if it's a girl, like this happened once, I'm holding, and there's a girl, and she's like, I can get it myself. I'm like, I let it go. I let it go, and I just walked away. This was a particularly heavy door. So, I don't know if in my head, at least, I heard a grunt.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was real or not. But it's one of those things like literally, you bitch. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like, I was like, maybe I should just stop holding open doors for people. And I stopped and I was like, no. Like it took a while for me to get out of that. Like I'm talking like months, maybe a year to get out of it, because like that really stuck with me. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's not all women. That's literally just that stupid bitch. That like that person has some kind of a mental problem, or she's hateful or whatever it is, but like that's her. People, women included, still appreciate when you hold a door open for them. That one person, that she's not representative of anyone but herself. And it was a bad representation. And yeah, it's funny how sometimes your bad day or your bad life, your bad existence can somehow like actually, change someone. You start to think that maybe you did something bad,
I found out that older women appreciate the chivalry.
Well, yeah, because that's what they grew up with.
Right. And that's when I started thinking like, you know what? Maybe there's a pattern to this. Like if you're younger and you're doing it for an older woman, like, oh yeah, you're gonna get a thank you. Like it's right. All right. But that girl you were talking about, if you're like 10 and you're holding it for her, she would have no issue. Because like, maybe what, you mad at a kid?
She was a crazy person, dude. Like you see the craziest, stupidest things in the world. Yeah, whatever. There was this old woman, she was an old Indian woman. I have to say this because it's important.
Sure.
It's an old Indian woman, and she was there with her mother. I didn't see all that stuff. She was in a dollar store, and I walked into the dollar store with my two kids. Mm-hmm. This was 2 years ago. So my youngest was, he's 6 now, so he was 4. He had just turned 4 that month. Just turned 4, like a couple of days before.
Nice.
It was his birth month. And I'm holding open the door for them so they can walk in, and there's books right there. And I was like, hold up, guys, I want to look at these books. They have all the dollar store books there. Like, sometimes I find a treasure in this trove.
Hey.
And this old Indian woman comes walking by, and she's looking at the books and accidentally bumps into him, my youngest. Yeah. And he's just like that, and like he's jarred. And she turns around and she looks at him and takes her hand on the side of his head and does like a side profile mush, straight up mush, and his head actually goes like that.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, hey, like I was mad. I put on the power voice and I was like, hey, you don't put your hands on my kid. What the fuck is the matter with you? I screamed this in this little dollar store. We just went in there to try and find some water guns, and I got sidetracked. You know what I'm saying? This was August, and just like, boom. I wanted to get some water guns because we were out, freaking, she goes and does that, and she just, ignores me. Like she gets a little bit scared like that, and then turns around. And then when I'm just continuing to yell, she's ignoring me, at this point. And then she just starts like smiling. It's like, you pathetic. So this other girl, turns out it's her daughter, comes over and she's like, why are you yelling at her? I was like, you don't hear what I'm yelling? She just shoved my kid. Okay, she doesn't even speak English. I'm like, well, then translate.
Right.
Well, then translate. You're a stupid mother. Don't call my mother stupid. You're extremely stupid, child-abusing mother.
That's better.
Just hit my kid.
That's
like, and you're not outraged by this? Like, what's the matter with you? people from the store, just other customers come over, and they're saying that it's a racist rant because she's an old woman. Because I'm white, I'm big, I'm 6'5", I'm huge, I'm a freaking giant. You know, say I'm white, I'm a male, I'm all this stuff, and right away it's like, you don't get to hit a kid. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what color the skin is of the parent of the kid. Like, Jesus Christ, people have lost their fucking minds nowadays. It's insanity. The world is insane. And I'm blaming Twitter and freaking TikTok and all these that's where they freaking congregate.
No.
Oh
TikTok and Twitter has actually put more of a focus on it because we see this now.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it's still, dude. You saw the Chappelle special.
Yeah, I did.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't watched the Young Turks in a long time because I used to like the Young Turks when I was younger. It's an alternate news source. Yeah. I didn't know that there were other alternate news sources online.
Sure.
And they used to, bring up, good issues and, take the actual network news channels to task and whatnot. But then I saw they were just too much. You're trying to cause a division. You're like apologetic for Antifa and things like that. And like, there are actual people hurting other people out there and kids yelling and hitting older people, and it's like, that's not okay. You can't defend stuff like that.
Like, oh, these people did things back in the night. Like, no, you don't.
Yeah, I'm watching the Chappelle stuff, the Chappelle show.
Yeah.
And like they decide to start talking about it and saying how, oh, he's so anti trans. It's like, no, he's not. And you clearly didn't watch the show to the end. You know what I'm saying? Where he talks about his friend who was killed.
Right.
That's sorry. I don't think you really watched the show. You took clips, and they even clipped stuff, and they didn't bother showing that they're taking clips. They just showed it like it was one continuous thing. So you took out the things where he says nice things, where he says good things, where he explains what he's talking about. You took out those explanations, and you didn't show a transition. You just acted like it was one straight scene, and it's like, that's very disingenuous.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Like, people clickbait,
because they're trying to form a narrative. Yeah, it is clickbait. But they're also trying to form. It's like clickbait is just, I eat 100 worms. It's like, oh, you didn't actually eat 100, or you ate gummy worms, so it was clickbait.
Hey, those are worms, sir. Look,
those are real, genuine worms.
Like,
for a man who's actually eaten worms in the military, I can honestly tell you, gummy worms are not
those worms. Give me the yellow green ones. I love them. I love those.
I like the sour ones, man. Those are the best. I'll mess with I fucks with Sour Patch.
I fucks with gummies, like, just in general, just like,
any of them, right?
They are okay in my house. They have never done a racist thing to the chocolate though.
You've been watching that show also. But I don't know. Like I said, the world's just messed up right now, man.
You want to know messed up? Squid Game. That show Squid Game.
Yes. My wife wanted to watch. My wife is texting me right now, but she's accidentally texting one of her sisters. Oh. I'm gonna put my wife on blast real quick. She texted me, you left your purse at the place you were sitting at. Nurse brought it to me. And then she just says, oops, that was meant for one of my sisters.
Man,
like, yeah, obviously.
Can you imagine her and her sisters getting rid of a body? Like, I told you to get rid of that hand. Why is it in your, why did you leave it in the car? Oh, crap. No, don't. It's Halloween. It's what? May.
Yeah, right. We're in the middle of May, man. It's the Ides of March, man. Like, you know what happens on the Ides of March? The leader gets killed.
What?
Julius Caesar.
Oh God, it's funny. It's fun. You gotta have fun.
It's all the fun.
Yeah, I'm like, honestly, I'm with, like, when you stop reading the X-Men books, I kind of took it on, but now I'm kind of reading them now. Like, I was like, I wish I want to cut some of these so bad. Like, I want to cut New Mutants, but then it got good. I wanted to cut Excalibur, then it got good.
Under Tini?
Yeah.
Tini
Excalibur
Howard's
really good.
really.
Yeah,
I'm proud of her.
like
Good.
they actually showed Gambit doing something.
What?
I know.
It's funny how simple it is to make good comic books, right?
Hey, I mean, hey, I'm a Excalibur to me. The way it looks, it could be a Saturday morning cartoon, and I'm all for it.
Is Marcus Toe still drawing?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
He lives like not too far from me.
oh the artist, wow,
Yeah.
can no, but they're ending it. I'm like,
But they're what?
they're ending the book.
Uh,
I'm like, just as they start getting good, this happens, and it made me think about X Corp. I'm like, okay, this book
X-Corps.
X Corp. Like
You don't
it's
say Marine Corps.
nah.
A Marine Corps is a bad thing.
Oh. I see what you did there. I see what you did.
I noticed the segue that you did there.
Right?
Very good.
X Corp. I look at that and I'm like, okay, I see there's greatness in this, but it sucks. And like, do I have to wait like 13, 14 issues for it to start to get good when Howard finally gets a feel for these characters? I was so happy when they ended it. I was like, I don't know. I think Tini Howard I don't think she's a good writer at all.
That's why I stopped reading those books.
Yeah. Also,
She might be a good writer. A lot of these, I don't know the history of her. One thing, like here, to not jump
I think
around
something's
too
blocking
much.
your. Oh wait, no, that's a green screen. Oh, that's a blur. I thought something was blocking your camera. Sorry.
Oh yeah, my wife was using the thing for a meeting, and she blurred out because she didn't want people to see the toys.
It's like I am
like, whatever.
like these aren't mine. These are my husband. My husband's that nerd.
If I heard her saying that, I would grab the picture of her and Stan Lee and bring it right in and just be like, oh.
Like, that was a bet. You know that.
Uh-huh. But yeah, a lot of these people are coming from other writing jobs.
Yeah.
Like novelists, sometimes the YA, the young adult community, and stuff like that. So if they're coming from there, then it's hard to get your feel for writing comic books.
Right.
You have to describe too much in a novel. You can't describe things in a comic book. You simply can't, because that's the artist's job.
Right.
You've got there are two creators in there. There's the artist, and then there's the writer, right? And the writer's supposed to give direction to the artist. So like, imagine some of these people coming up and it's like, I'm writing a young adult novel and I'm dictating to a ghostwriter some of the stuff that I'm writing some of the others. And it's like, it gets too convoluted. They can't think that way. It's an entirely new art form to convey the stories that you want to convey this way. Plus, do they have the history of the characters? How good is their history of the characters? Is the history of the characters that you know about these characters only from the freaking 92 X-Men Fox show, the cartoon? Because look, the show was good, but it was especially good if you were a comic book fan. You know what I'm saying? The other people who came up afterwards and they got introduced to the comics because of the show, I'm really glad. That's fine. I'm really glad that happened. But how much reading have you done since then? Do you only know them because of that, or have you actually gone back and started reading? Because if so, welcome to the club. If not, you don't need to be writing these books.
Exactly. Like I don't know. Maybe this is just me, maybe because I'm a weirdo. But when I first got into the X-Men, like I was like, oh, it kind of pissed me off. Like, we only get this once a week, and then my uncles, they were reading all the books. So like, I just dove into that, and I was like, Psylocke, she's not on the show. I want to know more about this person. Archangel, I want to know more about this. Like, always thought as the TV shows as a good jumping on point, because like if you find a favorite character, you want to know everything about them. And I apply that to other franchises like Doctor Who. The 2005. I'm starting like just do background research. So like if somebody makes a reference, you can go back like, oh, okay, I know what they're talking about. Or if they mention something like, hey, what do they mean? I like the homework. I like being in the know. Like, okay, I see what you did there. But people don't like to do that because like, oh, I don't like homework. Get your head out of your ass, okay? If you want to understand it, you gotta do a little reading.
Yeah, it depends. People want to work for their meal. On average, the people who you really gonna hook are the people who, and most readers are like this. If or most anything is like that. You want to hook them, you want to get them to come over and do such and such, but they have to know that these things exist. There are plenty of people, believe it or not, who watched the X-Men cartoon, but they didn't know that there was a comic book called the X-Men. There are plenty of people. I know it sounds weird, but like there are plenty of people. What's give me a name of a movie. Give me the name of a couple of movies.
Okay. Damn it. Great. Now I'm at a blank. Now I'm at a blank.
I know I put you on the spot. Sorry.
Right?
Not a comic book movie, but some other movie out there.
Okay, let's do Goodfellas.
Okay. Keep going.
Goodfellas, Ocean's 11, Forrest Gump, God damn, the Addams Family. These are just the ones just popping up. The second one, the second Addams Family Values, the better.
Oh, nice. Okay, none of those were actually comic books before, but there was a seriously high probability you were going to come across and say something that was in a comic book. You know, one of the first ways that I got interested in comic books is because I was watching Tom and Jerry.
Okay.
And my father says to me, you know, I think your grandfather actually has some Tom and Jerry comic books. Like, I said, what? I was a kid. I was like 3 years old. It's like, yeah, he's got some comic books. I'm like, okay. I really didn't understand what he was talking about. He just assumed I knew what a comic book was. So I'm like, okay. And he literally drops a whole bunch of these books with no covers on them. And I'm just looking at them like, oh my God. And I'm reading all this. And you didn't really have to read Tom and Jerry, but Tom and Jerry did actually talk in the comic books.
Right.
You know? I've got one of them somewhere around here. It's 12-cent cover price from 1959. Yeah, it's worth it. Pretty good condition too.
Nice.
But I mean, and in this comic book stack, there was also a bunch of Disney characters. You know, there was Popeye. Popeye was originally a comic book. Tom and Jerry was originally a comic book.
Absolutely.
Before they were ever on TV, they were comic books. Mickey Mouse and a whole bunch of these, you know? There's this one character who I had been reading for a decade and a half. No, a full decade, a full 10 years, called Scrooge Mcduck. That I think he only made one appearance on TV, and that was as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Right. Yeah,
Aside from that, there was no such thing as a DuckTales. And then all of a sudden they put it on, and people are like, this is the greatest show ever. Like in my junior high school, but this is the great. Everybody's in the hallway, you know, DuckTales. Woo! It wasn't quite that bad, but I remember me and this other kid, we led, and everybody else in our art class, we're all nerds anyway. Yeah. In our art class, people who wanted to be there and people who had to be there, leading the DuckTales song, and everybody singing along and whatnot. And it was great. You know what I'm saying? DuckTales was like revolutionary and amazing. Yeah. And I was reading about these guys in the comic book 10 years before that show ever came out. Nobody knew who Huey, Louie, and Dewey were. You know what I'm saying? Right. Unless the rare appearance that they'd show up in there. This is before the Fushnikins. We're talking about Huey, Dewey, Louie. Last one's name is Screwy, whatever the heck they were saying.
I never heard that, but that's great.
Right? Think of those movie song. I think that was the name of it. Anyway, the Fushnikins off their first album. Last Schmoove. No, we ain't got nothing to prove. But anyway, yeah, dude, like there were so many things that are out there right now that are comic books long before they were movies or TV shows or anything like that.
Absolutely.
You know? And it surprises people to find out that, oh no, this was based off a comic book. You know, what was it? 29 Ronin or whatever the hell that 99 Ronins, whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? Like that was a comic book. 300, that movie 300.
Oh yeah. The Spirit.
That was a comic book.
Yep.
There's so many that are coming out and people are like, this is amazing. Oh, this is cool. Blah, 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 blah. This was a comic book? What do you mean? Nerd who I never talked to before? This was a comic book? Yeah. And it shocks people, but it's true. There's so much out there. And And they were able to translate it from that to this, to whatever it is, the TV show, the movie, the freaking whatever it is that they're doing, the cartoon. It all comes back to the comic book. In my opinion, the most influential medium is comic books.
It always comes back to this.
Yeah.
Always. Like,
always comes back to Gwen and Earth 55. Was it Earth 55?
Oh no, I just meant I meant the comic book. That's a person. No,
I know.
No, like with like I never understood why couldn't they ever just make a good comic book movie? Because like these are essentially screenplays.
Why couldn't they do? Oh yes, yeah. Before the MCU,
Yeah.
that's something that I've consistently said. This is quite literally a screenplay.
Mhm.
I'm reading The Hobbit to my
Yeah.
kids right now as bedtime stories.
Nice.
You know, what do you call it? When Peter Jackson got a hold of the original and whatever The Hobbit, I never watched those movies, but the Lord of the Rings movies, I watched the hell out of those.
Right.
I'm reading all these books to them just so that we can watch the movie, but they don't get to experience that until they've experienced the book first. That was its original form.
Right.
That's how it was originally. So this movie that is interpreted by someone else, that interpretation came from this medium that I am right now delivering to you guys, you know, to meaning my kids.
Yeah.
You know? But more than that, they don't get to see the influences until this. My kids have never watched Harry Potter, and I'm not going to read Harry Potter to them until we're through with the Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Because how do you have the dessert before you have the main course?
If you're rich. So
or if you're just dumb.
Right.
You know, if you weren't exposed or you don't understand this stuff, like how, if you read Harry Potter first with all this crazy magical stuff all over the place, and then you turn around, you read this this high concept but low magic world where Gandalf is a wizard who really doesn't do much.
They're walking a lot of the time.
Right? Well, there's there's a lot of walking, but like spiders that talk and do things like that, and trolls that you know talk with each other and they could turn to stone. That's really cute. But then there's Harry Potter, who the three of them fight a troll in the freaking bathroom of Hogwarts in the first book, and therefore the first movie. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'd rather them get the original stuff first. You don't get the interpreted form, and you don't get the influenced stuff, the stuff that was influenced by this, until you get the main thing, so you understand where this stuff came from. And make no mistake, I already have given them plenty of bedtime stories of the Norse gods specifically, because that's mostly where Tolkien draws from, but also, you know, some of the Greek and mythology and religion. And I like, we've gone crazy with bedtime stories, you know.
You had them read you read the Odyssey too?
Oh no. I don't actually. I've talked to them about the Cyclops. That's from the Iliad. No, that's Iliad and then the Odyssey. So yeah, that's from the Odyssey, close to the beginning. But no, I've never read the Iliad and the Odyssey.
I was gonna say, like,
that's a little bit too much. Plus, there's a lot. Plus, that's definitely an adult book. I would love for them to. I can't wait for them to one day experience Dune with me. But that's also an adult story.
That's a really high like you got.
It's the best. Dune is like, there's Tolkien on the sword and sorcery, and then in sci-fi there's Dune. And as far as I'm concerned, nothing else comes even remotely close to those two. Those are just the absolute best of the best, the cream of the crop. Everything else is the chaff at best.
You know, I was gonna say, what about George R.R. Martin? But like, that's influenced by Tolkien.
Still influenced, yeah, highly influenced, and not even by that. It's influenced by so much. I played Dungeons and Dragons with my kids a couple times, and I stopped once I realized that I need to read Lord of the Rings to them, because how do you have this high magic stuff running around when you don't know the origin of where this stuff comes from, right?
I get that.
Because them learning about Smaug, like they're just now learning about what Smaug, the giant red dragon is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know, oh God, wow. Like they're dazzled. You're completely dazzled by that. And mind you, they play, Minecraft and stuff like that. But the idea, like, this is their first real exposure to like the history of a dragon.
Right.
As opposed to just, oh yeah, you get to the end and there's a dragon and you got to defeat the crystals and then you could defeat it with blowing beds up and stuff like that. Like there's no blowing up beds in The Hobbit, you
No,
know?
no, they barely make it out a few times, like just barely.
Yeah.
And like,
And then the riddles, how they defeat them. It's not just, the power, boom, it's the riddles. It's, and then some of the magical stuff that happens, like when the War of the Five Armies happens and all of a sudden the eagles come in. That's something where, like, when you're reading that and just boom, and you're not all, focused on like, oh, there's hippogriffs and wyverns and all these different kinds of monsters running around all over the place and Pegasus. And it's like, no, here's eagles, giant eagles that you can ride on their backs and they come flying in and they save the day. It's like, oh shoot, wow. Because you were literally wondering, what's going to beat this army of goblins riding wargs?
Seriously, they were
You know?
coming in hot. They were like, and like, in the sorry, I just love. I remember the animated version. I like that one better.
Oh,
the elves, the man, and the dwarves. They're like, listen, I don't like any of you, but I can't stand them motherfuckers.
right.
like we're brothers now. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Pinky swear real quick because we got to fight these guys.
Like, I don't. You smell funny, dwarf, but I fucks with you.
Right. We're good. We roll.
Right.
So let's roll out.
Really heavy.
Roll some heads.
Yeah, right. I love that. But my main thing is we never got to see the real fight because Bilbo got knocked out. Like,
I know. But it's a great way to see it. And there's also some really wonderful, fun things that happen in there, right?
Bilbo was so fun. He was just like, he's just like that whole thing with Smeagol, and you're just like, wow.
It was more fun before the Lord of the Rings came out because it was a more fun thing. But he wrote Smeagol very differently, Gollum very differently in the Lord of the Rings. He was murderous, so he had to go back and change some things, specifically the interaction with Gollum in the Hobbit. So I would love to get I was just thinking about it earlier today. I would love to get my hands on the original version. And find out, like, how that went.
No, because like you read all right, I read the Lord of the Rings. Well, no, I read the Hobbit, but like when I found out about the Lord of the Rings, it was before the movie was coming out, like 3 months. A buddy of mine was telling me about it. Never heard of it. And so I spent that entire summer, 2001, mind you, read all 3 books. It took me a month to read. Let me tell you, like, I was so excited. I was like, I gotta understand. I got like you said, you do the work. I'm at, Smeagol's scary. Like you
in the revamped version, he is scary. No, I'm going to eat you if you don't solve this riddle.
Like he's like in the first in Lord of the Rings, you see him, you're like, oh, like, no, that's a little crackhead trying to stab. And then you go into the Hobbit. Yeah, right, exactly. Like anytime I saw Gollum, I was like, that's a crackhead. That's a straight. Like, you can't pull a crackhead and
everything.
Like you can't pull a crackhead out. I'm from the streets. I know crackhead.
Smeagol suck your dick for precious.
Right.
Got him. like
Smeagol, what? We talked about this. No, okay, I gave you money for you not to do that. I'm not talking to you until you get out of rehab. But like, and then you look, all right, but then you go back to the Hobbit and you see that whole thing with Bilbo. You're like, wow, you barely made it out because he was about to do stuff to you.
Yeah,
because he's been in that cave for a long time, and that little hill, that little moat in the middle of that little lake thing. I'm like, yeah, that looks like a hookup spot to him. He was going to take your body and like do stuff to you.
He said, "I'm going to eat you."
Yeah.
See how you taste.
Like eat you in the moonlight. Like, Gollum, this is why nobody likes you. This exact thing. Oh, I wanted to ask you: did you see What If the last 2 issues?
No, I didn't watch the. The last one I skipped the zombies one because I've been watching it with my kids and they don't want to see zombies.
Sure.
But then I watched the one after that, which was Thor. Yeah. Was an only child. That was a really good one. I really liked that.
I really like. Okay, why didn't it seem like I was totally on Thor's side? It just seemed like all of his protagonists were women who are all just like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, but
yeah,
they didn't tell
everybody in Shield. They had the girls' club there.
Yeah.
And they kept sending Captain Marvel in to do whatever. I thought that was a really fun one because it was literally like the girls are wrong on this, right? This wasn't your typical PC stuff. Yeah, yeah, this wasn't the typical PC stuff, and it wasn't like, you know, like Captain Marvel didn't show up and just wipe the floor with him. He wiped the floor with her. And she had to make an excuse afterward. Well, I can't put a crater in the planet. It's like, just admit you got whooped. Just admit you got whooped. But then later on, she still got hers because she saved him from getting in trouble with his mom.
That's true. And so, also, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. So it's like it seemed like it was very fair. I liked it.
You know what, honest, I kind of thought that Captain Marvel was kind of digging Thor. I'm like, oh, she kind of likes him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh. I want to see the future of these two. You know,
I was like,
what kind of blonde children are they going to have?
Super blonde,
right?
The blondest of the blonde.
The blondest children, like they give birth to the new Aryan nation or something.
Like Red Skull, be like, I always like that Thor. I was.
You know what? How great would it be if somebody did that? If they just made a comic book, you know, or some kind of story where these two hook up and they have like super duper blonde, blue-eyed kids, and Red Skull's just like, aha.
He's like, you know what? I always liked that Thor. He was a good guy. I never had an issue with him.
And they've got the dramatic blood. I'm saying.
Just say it. But and then like in that what if it, he goes to Jane. I'm like, why is he going to that regular degular girl when he can go to
that was
Carol?
One thing that was kind of forced. It's like the only reason why this works is because we know of his relationship with Jane Foster from the comics. That's the only reason why this works, or from the movies.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why this works. Otherwise, there's no connection there.
I'm like, okay, all right, I don't know Natalie Portman. I don't know how she is, but it seems like she's a lot. Like, just you get
she's
bored.
A what?
She's a lot. She's a lot to handle. Like, to like she'll start. I feel like she'll start talking. Oh, this is my Academy Award that I won when I was 8 years old with Jean Reno in The Professional. Like, you were barely in it.
Oh, no, she wasn't barely in it.
I would say something like that. Just like all right.
And she was really good in that movie. I say it's the best movie she's ever done. Okay. Better than the one where she has a baby in Walmart. But anyway.
Wait. What movie was that?
That was called Where the Heart Is. It was actually a pretty good movie.
Oh, okay.
Where the Heart Is. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were thinking of that movie she did with Susan Sarandon, where Susan Sarandon played her mom, and like they moved to LA, and it's like it was just this whole. Susan Sarandon's dope. I don't care.
I think you've seen more chick flicks than me. You
know what? I like Susan Sarandon. Okay, Susan Sarandon is fine. She's like this. Hey, Hollywood is ageist. Okay, we should have had like Michelle Pfeiffer should have had like a Robert De Niro career.
I mean, I guess. Like, I hear you. I know people talk like that sometimes. You gotta admit that on average, guys tend to age a little bit better than women.
That's true.
And we could chalk that up to women always wearing makeup all the time. We could, all the chemicals that they're putting in their, I don't know. And I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of people who hate that I'm saying this, but like, bro, you see an old woman and you see a man of equal age, and he's usually a little bit more, fond on the eyes.
Fair.
I have
a theory about that too. I have a it's a theory. It's kind of, and it's not. It's all right. It kind of starts with puberty. They always say that girls, females, they develop faster than boys, and I think that's because of puberty. Because like from the time when that starts, their entire bodies change and they like age. Like that's why you get like teenage girls who look a certain age. They look older. So, wow, this is a really slippery slope. I can go in some R. Kelly territory in a bit.
Wow, you start peeing on people?
No,
not that R. Kelly.
Barry, I'm pooping on people. No, so like when we see like an older woman like in a young like men, women age faster than us. That's a fact. But it's because of puberty, because their bodies have
I
to
don't
get
think
ready.
so, because they also live a lot longer too.
Yeah, because we hunt and plow and die 10 years. That's manipulation.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Can
I don't know. It's just like I just look at it. It's like, dude, if it's a book and you're gonna have a younger guy get, because like that's the funny thing. You say Hollywood is ageist. I hear you, but at the same time, in books, right? There are plenty and plenty and plenty of times where the younger man gets with an older woman, whether it's a permanent thing or just this is how he, moves on, whatever. Like, so I could say that the novel world is different. And one of the main reasons for that is it's a whole lot easier to imagine a beautiful older woman as opposed to, and there are beautiful older women. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, Salma Hayek to this day is still one of the most beautiful women on the face of the planet.
I'll give you 5.
Right? But
Helen
Salma
Mirren.
Hayek doesn't happen very often.
Oh.
Oh, there's also Jennifer Lopez. Maybe it's just the Latino women. Maybe
Oh
it's just
no!
the Latinas.
Well, calm down, my dude. Calm down.
Who else you got? Who else you got?
Nina Long, Regina King,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren looks good.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Even Natalie Portman. She is.
How old is she now?
She's my.
She's
I
was gonna say she's younger than me. What the matter with you, man?
No,
like Michelle Pfeiffer. You know what I'm saying?
Michelle
she looked
Pfeiffer.
Pretty good for a while. Sharon Stone.
Julianne Moore.
Did she?
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei. Great example.
Thank you.
Great example. But there's just a whole lot that just like it is what it is, man.
Italians represent.
Right?
Oh,
most of us Italians are usually short and fat, so I mean,
fun fact. All right, just going on a different world. Have you ever seen that show What We Do in the Shadows?
no, I heard of it though. I think it's one of the many, many, many shows my wife wanted me to watch with her, just like Squid Games.
Right. I say this because the voice of Susie from the Rugrats, Cree Summer, she's in the latest episode of What We Do in the Shadows. I'm like, that's Cree Summer. Oh, okay. Like, I like seeing actors I've seen when I was a kid, like in other stuff. Like,
How old are you?
You're still working. Good. I love it.
How old are you?
I am. I just hit 36 in August.
Okay, 46. So I got a decade on you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So you're the exact same age as Donny Cates. Okay. Yeah. So like, I didn't grow up with Arnold and Rugrats and stuff like that. I grew up with Saturday morning cartoons.
Whoa, we had Saturday morning cartoons too.
No, I hear you. Listen, I'm hearing you, but like, you had the Cartoon Network. You had a 24-hour cartoon access thing.
In 1995, we had to do 5. Okay, let me tell you.
I graduated high school in 93.
Okay, I graduated in 2003. What are we talking about?
We didn't have computers the entire time I was in college. There was like ColecoVision.
We just got cell phones, and we weren't even using them yet.
We had beepers.
We still have beepers. No,
nobody has beepers.
Okay, yeah. You guys were drug dealers. Anybody had a beeper was a drug dealer. Tell me, or a doctor, or same thing.
I mean, I knew plenty of drug dealers who had beepers, of course, but come on. Anyway, I grew up in rough neighborhoods, man. Asbury Park wasn't exactly pretty.
I didn't say it.
Nowadays it is, but
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying beepers are synonymous with drug dealers.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just like those.
Can't trace them.
Just like those prepaid phones. I see a prepaid phone, like, wow, you must be moving a lot.
or they're spies. If you got a burner phone.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Burner phones.
You're Michael Weston from freaking Burn Notice, man.
Hey,
I'm talking about.
Hey, I have an uncle who I'm pretty sure used to work for the government and is now an arms dealer. I can't prove it because you can't.
Really?
Hey, he was in Sofia all the times they were having revolutions, and he had to be air lifted out. So I'm just saying, he got out of the with the government, went into the private sector. It's a lot easier. it's it's just how I would connect the dots, man. How I connect the dots. People say, "Oh, it's not you can't live life like a movie." The hell you can't,
Tell that to Nicolas Cage.
right? Nick Cage, Nick Cage is in the bathroom, like, how can I make my life like a movie today?
Right?
I'm gonna call my cousin Jennifer Aniston and say, hey, you know you a bitch, just for fun.
Is that really his cousin?
Yeah, they're Coppola. They're both Coppolas.
She's a Coppola?
Yeah, but she didn't want to use her name.
That.
Like
just like him. That's why he used the name Cage, like Luke Cage.
Right. Yeah. Hey,
I did not know that.
Deep digs. You start piecing the like Hollywood's put together by a lot of families.
Oh, I know.
Lots of families,
including Weinstein's.
Hey, you know what? Say what you will about the Weinsteins. He gave us the Matrix movies. He could have passed on those. He could have like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying Harvey Weinstein's a great person, but he's given us a lot, and it's hard to feel bad for millionaires.
Yeah, that's why I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, okay, Rose McGowan. Yeah, sure. All right, like what's the last good Rose McGowan movie you've ever seen? I'll wait.
I don't know. Probably Charmed.
I said a movie.
Yeah, I know you said movie. I don't know. She was in Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, she was booted because she said something. She didn't like the nonsense that was going on.
Everybody has a job that you don't want. Like, hey, I go to job. There are like 5 people at my job that I want to fight on site, but I can't because that's messing with my money.
Uh-huh.
I can't.
You know, there's a reason why I was never a choir boy. Young Italian, young, good-looking Italian kid like me. I'm saying.
No, you just you move your head in slow motion, like.
Right.
Bravissima. What?
My bellissimo. But yes.
Bellissimo. Like I'm a bad man. Stay away from me, Father Curry. All right. We talked about this. I will cut your stuff off.
Anyway. Oh, jeez. Any comic books in this?
No. Just like so how do you feel about the X line right now, like with Hickman leaving and everything? Just I
really haven't been reading.
Now you're in the news.
No, I just don't care. That's the thing. I can't care. I don't do the podcast. Like my people, mad at me for not doing as many reviews. People mad at me for stuff like what's going on. There's some family stuff. My wife isn't well right now. You know what I'm saying? So every so often you get people just like I was your podcast and all this stuff, and like it meant so much, and okay, well, this is the first time ever hearing from you, so that right there tells me something. Like you can never say anything. I'm always like, I'll read your comment or something like that, but you want to send me hate mail when I end it because not doing so well right now. Like it is what it is, man.
See, that's why I've been low key on my channel, like making like, hey Bill, I bet you like low key did like, yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. Like I'll shoot my shot. No, okay. Also I was on the yesterday, I think you probably saw it, how I've been watching the Wu-Tang Clan show, and I was reading the Mutants.
There's a Wu-Tang Clan show?
Yes. Oh, yes, on Hulu. It just finished the 2nd season. Yes, okay. It's good. And I was looking at the original New Mutants, and I was starting like, who would be who out of the New Mutants in the Wu-Tang Clan? And let me tell you, I'll just tell you one. Magic is ODB.
ODB. Yeah, I saw when you were talking about that. I just didn't gather that there was a show.
Oh no, it's a good show.
So she's old dirty bastard.
No, hear me out. Because she's crazy. She does whatever she wants, and there's a good chance she's gonna die young. Again.
Plus, she really is a good person at heart.
Really?
There's all these stories of ODB, like stopping off and helping people change a tire and things like that.
Yeah, but then you got Magic, who will like tell her best friend, "Hey, I don't think you should marry my brother. Otherwise, you would have done it by now." So what are you trying to say, Ileana? No,
but but they've always been close friends. See, that's the thing. You know, like that's
No,
there's so
no. I
much.
hear you. And every time I hear it, it just seems like Marvel wants like. So you're saying that no two people of the same sex can just be friends? They can't just be
Yeah,
close.
yeah,
They
that's exactly it.
like the whole
Because
thing. Let's say Xavier and Magneto are sleeping together. Like, really? All right. First of all, Magneto would be a selfish lover. He's a selfish lover.
oh
Like,
man,
and it
I don't
would
know.
work.
If you want to know, ask Rogue.
Oh my. Okay. Nobody would. Okay. Actually, if you really think about it, she was his first. Though he was her first.
Yes.
So, like Magneto, he can just go to Magneto. He can just go to Gambit like, hey, buddy, I just want to let you know, I hit it first. All those things she knows. Thank you. That's
He's what's that one idiot's name who was with Kim Kardashian?
Ray J.
Ray J. He's
Brady's
Ray J.
brother.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Brandy's brother.
that was
she's somebody. I wonder how she looks nowadays, man. Oh my God, the crush I had on her growing up.
Brandy looks good. She has an adult daughter. She's on TikTok. I found her on like, okay.
But she's still hot.
She's gorgeous.
Oh,
she's gorgeous. Like,
Hey,
let me tell you, Brandy though. Hey,
I'm listening.
Yeah, she's great. Like she's a legend. Like nobody really gives her that much credit, really, outside of my community. Like
Moesha.
Yeah. I remember when she was in that. She did a remix of her first song with Queen Latifah, MC Light, and Yo-Yo, and Queen Latifah killed it.
Yo-Yo, literally, Yo-Yo is like the one-hit wonder of the female rap world.
But she could, I bet she could rap though. When she
still did.
Yeah.
No, maybe it's just because she was so revolutionary. Like only that one, don't try to play me out. Don't try to play me out. Because she had, like you admit that was a great video when you just have freaking Ice-T or Ice Cube get on there. Don't play or can't play with my yo-yo.
Right.
Yo, that was just like the best. Like she could be singing whatever the hell she wants. Nobody cared. Seeing Ice Cube with that face and the voice and whatnot, like on the phone, that was awesome. right? The Ice Cube face.
Like, you know what? Who do you think would listen to the X-Men would listen to Yo-Yo?
Yo-Yo? Oh, that's Inhuman.
Right. Ironically, though, that'd be very ironic.
Right. Out of the X-Men,
it would have to be like a deep cut, like probably like Bishop, because he knows all that old school stuff.
Yeah, I guess I could see him. I don't know. I try to think of somebody funny. Like it's funny that this person's listen. I don't know. Skids, not Skids. Wait, Skids always has. Does she usually listen to music?
No.
No. Boom Boom does though.
Yeah,
so yeah. So probably Boom Boom. She probably have Yo-Yo.
She loves 90s. He loves West Coast early 90s West Coast rap. Like she's a big into that. Was part of she got into that when she was with the New Mutants because everybody was listening to everybody else's music.
How did you like the New Mutants movie? I just saw it about 2 months ago. It came to Disney Plus.
I was so disappointed. Like just
there were some good parts in there.
Good parts.
They had a couple parts that were really good. I'm like, this is the New Mutants. But like my wife had to eventually get up and walk away. She's like, you are yelling at this movie too much. I'm like, they're fucking everything up at the end.
So much was wrong. Cecilia Reyes, she should have been darker and she would never do anything like this. It should have been like the person running the facility should have been like somebody named Dr. Essex or something. Or they should have made that insane asylum like a Weapon X facility. That would have been cool. Like
they tried to pull a smooth move by having it's like, oh, it's Dr. Sirius and oh, my boss and blah blah. And so they're speculating. Of course, it's Professor X. What do you think? And so like it was cool. But then all of a sudden it turns out that she's working for Xavier, and all of us, the only people who would have gotten the reference that they were making and that they mattered and that, New Mutants is part of X-Men technically and so on, are the comic book fans.
Right.
And none of us, not a single one of us, are going to turn around and be like, oh, because I'm going to say that half of X-Men fans probably aren't that, who would identify as X-Men fans, probably aren't deep enough into it to even know who Dr. Reyes is in the first place.
I remember when she first showed up. That was May 1997.
Wow. Okay. Oh, she also debuted with somebody else too. That's why.
Iceman. No, she didn't. No, her first appearance, she had a cameo appearance at the end of X-Men 65 when the X-Men got shot down by Operation Zero Tolerance, and then she got her like a full debut in the first part of that arc when Iceman had to come and save her.
Somebody had a debut appearance, like she shared her I think, maybe I'm wrong. I think she shared her debut appearance with somebody else, but either way,
not Marrow. No, it wasn't Marrow. Like that, they were introducing 3 new X-Men around that same month, so I get it. But Cannibal,
nobody who knows who Reyes is going to sit there looking and be like, oh, that's a great plot twist.
Right? No,
not a single.
It should have been Moira McTaggart. That would have been a lot more scary.
If you do Moira or you do something along those lines, that could have possibly worked.
Corbeau.
Huh?
Dr. Peter Corbeau, they're the X-Men's like human scientist friend. That would have been kind of cool, like. But
or even just say Reyes, but she was mind controlled or something like that. Just something along those lines. But actually making her evil and working for Mr. Sinister is just, it's unacceptable.
Mastermind. Instead of having Reyes, make it be Mastermind.
There you go. He's pretending to be Reyes, and the real Reyes, the real Reyes is actually locked up in the freaking cabinet or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
I love it.
But Cannibal and Sunspot, I felt like, okay, they were getting their friendship, but it also, I was like, okay, they can really kind of lean. They didn't really take a stance like, oh, are they best friends or are they something else? It just, how they,
what they did with
Danny and Rain.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
That genuinely bothers me.
And
like that genuinely bothers me because here, give me a second. Let me look at this thing here. No, she appeared with her just by herself. Go figure. Okay, I was wrong. Anyway.
Okay.
The relation. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. Like that whole scene where Sunspot and Magic were making out in the pool. That would not have been Magic. That would have been Danny.
Yeah, I could probably see that, I guess.
No, just like because Ileana, she had the mentality of a 7-year-old. No one, and she was scary. No one's coming close to her.
Yeah.
Magic was the one they did right, but still, this could have been a show. Like,
there was a problem with her towards the end too that I didn't like. But like I said, like the thing with Danny and Rain, that was like the only reason why they had a bond. They didn't even show why they had a bond. In the comics, she could turn into a wolf.
Right.
And she could turn into the half wolf.
Right.
When she was in the wolf or half wolf form, Rain had the ability to communicate with her because she can communicate with animals.
Right.
Very typical Native American thing to do.
Yeah.
But she can communicate with animals. So she can't communicate with her in her human form, but in the other 2 forms, she can.
Right.
That was it. So they just had a special bond, a friendship. But like she wasn't into bestiality.
No.
So getting into it's one of those things where it's like, why can't 2 people just be friends? Dude, if you and I are friends, I don't need for us to be, hot on each other. That just, no. I'm not interested. Sorry. I'm sure you're a good looking guy to the right people, but to me, it's like, you just, no. I hate when they do stuff like this and they're just like, oh, and it turns into a romantic relationship.
A love affair. Okay. This fantastic love affair. Like,
with all due respect, you're stupid. And you don't deserve to be writing the things that you're writing. You don't deserve to be employed in this field. Go off and write for Harlequin or Harley Quinn, yeah, whatever. Those
Harley
little
Ivy.
sex,
Poison Heart, Poison Queen.
right? Go do those little freaking, sex novels, the
Those
forums for
yeah.
Hustler or whatever. Like go do that.
Hey, there's a time and a place for it. We don't need also these kids are learning how to use their powers. They're not trying to bump uglies.
Well, no, that's not true because they're kids. They would absolutely be trying to bump uglies. That's all they'd be thinking about. They'd all be thinking about that stuff. But it's like don't. It's not inclusion if it's forced. It's
Right.
not inclusion if it's this. Yeah, it's just pandering at that point. It's like, who is your target audience here? Because is it worth pissing off some people? Because it has nothing to do with anti-gay. No. I don't think there's anybody who's anti-gay, anti-lesbian in this particular case. It's literally just that's not how it was in the comic books. These two had a very different, very special, very unique relationship, and you didn't understand that, so you just said, "Oh, they're fucking." Like, dude, no, you're fucking. Like, come on, fucking stupid.
You just, and the fact that all right, the only thing good about New Mutants is that now it's a constant joke. That movie got pushed so many more times than New Mutants.
Right.
Black Widow got pushed more times than New Mutants. Like, see, you can apply it to anything now.
Yeah.
Like that movie sucked. Disney, I got just put it out. I don't care.
I think
New Mutants to me should always be a TV show. Just take that, throw away the entire concept and just have them at the school and they're learning how to use their powers and dealing with humanity on their own terms. Introduce things like mutant envy, where people fetishize mutants because that's something that would happen. Yeah, and also show that there's a such thing as mutant privilege, like pretty mutant privilege, where you would get mutants like Ileana, Sunspot, Cannonball, like the ones with the big powers,
and then the Morlocks.
Yeah, but no, actually, show there's a divide even within that team. You have the ones with the really cool powers, and then you have the other ones who are just like
Eye-Boy, Glob.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm talking about like Cypher, Warlock, like the scary, the weird looking one.
Cypher's a good looking guy.
Yeah, but Well, actually, yeah. Also with him. You mutants who don't have outward powers, but they're they're passing. Like they can pass, but they don't want to pass. Like, oh, I'm a mutant. Like, Doug, calm down, bro. Calm down. You're not that serious.
I'm bilingual too. That doesn't make me a mutant.
Right. I would have it where Xavier actually is trying to he's trying to tell him hey, you don't need to go here. Your powers are really passive. You can actually go out into the world and change the world by yourself on your own terms. You don't need us, which is kind of true. And also bring up the fact that Cypher, he didn't tell his parents he was a mutant. His parents just thought he was really smart.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff that Claremont had. I spent an entire summer reading all that New Mutant stuff, and there's a lot of good TV stuff right there. Just right there. Yeah. I don't know. That's just me.
A lot of this stuff really should be television shows so you can actually explore it.
Absolutely. You want to know why the New Mutants turn to X-Force. You got to show that they get angry. The way I would have it, it'll be 5 seasons, but every season they would get a little bit more angrier because they see how mutant kind is being treated.
Yeah, and how they would do it in a movie is just in the first half hour or so they'd have already made up their mind. That's it. You know what, we're okay, well, you know what, here's a bunch of patches, let's go out and kick some ass. A bunch of pouches, I should say. Let's go out and kick some ass.
Actually, they would have had it up to the last the end of the second act. That's when it would have been we're X-Force now. We've done all this.
Well, that's when they would have said the name, but they
would right.
Differently. Here's the thing, I don't know, man. Just these guys in the movie theater, they don't get it. They really just don't get it. And the only people who are active are the goofy people who aren't really fans. They're fans of something else. Yeah. Let me give you an example. Something that I'm noticing right now. I don't know when this is just recording. It's not live, right?
Yeah. No, it's recording. Okay. Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Well, whenever this decides to go out, for me, It is the 15th of October,
Right.
right? And they just released this little 3 to 6 second, whatever it is, clip of Pattinson. Who's the guy playing Robert Pattinson? The guy playing the
The
Batman.
Internals. Yeah, for the Internals. Right?
No, for Batman.
Batman.
The Batman movie coming out. Yeah. And they've got his voice on there. He's like, it's not just a signal, it's a warning. And there's it's not even a lot. It's a couple of people getting on, and they're just, on Twitter, and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so they decided to write an article where fans are freaking out. That's literally what they put in there. Fans are freaking out over Pattinson's voice, blah, blah. Who paid you to do that? Because I think it was the movie company.
Absolutely.
I think it was the movie company. I think it was this and the other thing. And your little press releases and stuff like that. I think that's what it is. Because even the people who are freaking out, they're girls or gay boys who think that Robert Pattinson is hot, and anything this guy does, they're going to follow him.
Robert Pattinson is good, though. He's a good actor.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay. All right.
I'm listening.
Did you ever see Harry? He was in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, he was Cedric Diggory for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but
and half of the time he was there, he was laying dead at Voldemort's feet. He wasn't even a worthy enough character to get an on-screen death. So go on.
Damn. Okay. What about Metropolis, where he played like essentially Bruce Wayne in a limo for 2 hours?
I didn't watch that.
Oh, that's
so I can't comment on it.
Okay, fair enough. I like Robert Pattinson. Oh, Tenet.
Oh, I have that movie, and I have on Blu-ray, and I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna have to watch that. I've got to watch that because there's some people saying that also. But there was also the movie that he did with the Peter Parker kid.
Andrew Garfield?
No, and not Tobey Maguire, the one who's currently playing him.
Oh, Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland. There's a movie that he did with him, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, he was amazing." I'm like, he blew so bad in that movie. Oh well, like the voice that he uses. Oh, please talk to me about the voice. The voice that he uses, that special country twang and blah blah that he uses and whatnot. Like he actually didn't use a voice actor. And he didn't even let the director know what the voice was going to sound like until they started shooting. He just started using that voice. I'm like, okay, first off, that voice absolutely sucked. He's a Brit who doesn't know how to use. Brits are horrible at making these other voices, except for Hugh Laurie. He was really good in House.
Ewan McGregor.
Oh, that's right. He is a Brit. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can pull it off, and it's really good. But sometimes you also get Andrew Garfield. Yeah, whatever. The Andrew Lincoln, who's like, Coral.
Oh.
Coral. So I'm saying it's a hit or miss. But no, Pattinson's voice sucked. And how completely and entirely irreverently unprofessional is it to refuse a voice actor and to not even let your director know what you're going to sound like until the cameras start rolling? How unprofessional is that?
I don't think Hollywood's ever been really professional.
I hear you, but I don't know where you want to go with that.
No. I hear you. I'm with you. That's not cool.
It's literally a bunch of like anything this guy does. There's a certain group of fans who are going to say yes. You saw the people when Nicki Minaj said that her cousin in Trinidad, his nuts swole up to grapefruit size because he got the vaccine for COVID.
Ew.
That's something that she said, which is like, okay, cool. I mean, not that I want to see people's nuts, but you didn't even produce a picture. I mean, I don't understand. We're just supposed to take you at your word for it. Would you believe, and yes, you would, that there were plenty of fans who showed up somewhere, I don't know where, to get TV news anchors, whatever, I don't know, TV guys to film them protesting and saying, you need to listen to Nicki, and like even their spokespeople, like Nicki Minaj is a multi-platinum recording artist and blah, blah, blah. What does that have to do with her saying that the COVID vaccine will cause swelling in your testicles. Please, I don't understand
Make it
your
make sense.
argument.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, please, but they can't. There are people who are going to stand for somebody because they're pretty or they like this thing that they do or that thing that they do. They're like the stands for Nicki Minaj would murder Cardi B in a heartbeat on a subway if they had a chance. And it's not even about, oh, as long as nobody was looking, they would do it in public if they had to, just so they could say, Nikki, look what I did for you.
They're like cats. They're like cats who kill mice and bring them up to the door, bring them to your door.
Right.
Like,
and I'm sure the Cardi
tribute.
B fans would do the same to Nikki. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, you're not a fan. You're a stalker.
You're a
fanatic. Yeah. You're a paparazzi.
No,
Paparazzi.
part of a cult. Oh God.
Yeah, cult followers, all that good stuff. You know, there are people who they love Robert Pattinson, and no matter what he did, they'll do it, and they'll forgive anything. The people, you know, the Flash, the guy who's playing the Flash.
Yeah.
Whatever his.
Damn,
can't remember his name because I don't do the podcast anymore. But
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. Yes, the gay man who choked a woman behind the dumpster of a bar.
Okay.
Choked her, and nobody wants to talk about it. You know, if he wasn't so good looking and he didn't have so many fans who thought he was good looking, I don't know if this guy's I think he sucked in the Flash. Maybe he just wasn't the right role for him. Whatever. I honestly didn't care. Screw that movie. Right? And screw the Snyder Cut version also. Who cares? Who cares? People, you know, people are confusing who's who in the world. There were zero comic book fans screaming for the Snyder Cut and then saying the Snyder Cut wasn't made. No, those were Zack Snyder fans.
Yeah.
That's who that were. There was not one single comic book fan amongst them. Not a single one. None. They were all Zack Snyder fans who anything that Snyder does, they're going to, and that's fine. But when they lie and say that they're comic book fans, you know, like, don't give me a bad name because you're a freaking psychopath, you know? And not that they necessarily did anything psychopathic, but it's like, don't lie. Don't lie. If you feel the need to lie, then you know that you don't matter.
Hey, the way I look at it is you can lie to other people. Don't lie to me. I'm not like, be straight up. But as far as Ezra Miller, I seen him good in one movie, but he wasn't the star.
What's that?
The Perks of Being two. The Perks of Being a Wildflower, and We Need to Talk About Kevin, where he plays a serial killer who, at one point, he takes a bow and arrow in a high school gymnasium and turns it on the students, and he doesn't get shot. It's you see the trailer, you'll be like, this motherfucker is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, here's the thing. One of my big things is I just don't need the movies.
No.
This is a very unpopular opinion, but Endgame and all of even Winter Soldier, which I love the Winter Soldier movie.
Yeah.
But all of those movies could go the way of the dodo. They could all disappear, and it could be like, oh no, every copy has been completely whited out and we'll never be able to recover them anywhere. Oh no, what do we do? And I'd be like, sucks.
We got these.
Oh well, exactly.
Like,
I'm more interested in the literature. I'm more interested in the source.
Yeah.
I've always got my comic. You told me that the comic books all disappeared. I'm going out and I'm going to start shooting people. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out. I'm going to get postal. I'm going to start. No, but I mean,
wait. Are you going to be color coordinated? Because I like, and what color is it? Because hey, just know that I always was nice.
Anyway, sure.
Except that one time where I wanted to beat up an 8-year-old fictional character. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't follow actors. I really just don't care. I don't care. And I'm not going to try and confuse people and whatever. It's like, I don't really care that much about the movies. And as far as actors, they come and they go. They're a dime a dozen. And if they're going to treat the character properly, then rock on, baby. Let's go.
Hey, I was about to put a dime. You said a dime a dozen. I got 2. I want 20 actors. I want to make this new Mutants movie, this TV show happen.
A good one, right? Yeah.
Just like in Disney, like Disney doesn't care. Like they're gonna just put out their stuff because they know they're gonna make money despite themselves.
Yeah, and if they stop making money, they'll stop making the movies. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. Like or they'll move on to another franchise. Because you remember before they got all their Marvel movies, they were doing those Pirates movies.
Yep.
They were doing all those Pirates movies. And as soon as they got that Marvel deal happen, we have not heard a single one. It's like, nah, we're good. We've moved on.
You know how many movies they remake?
Man, they're going into their own stat. They're getting high on their own supply. No, well, they've been doing that, but like,
it's one of those things where it's like people are talking about they can never recast the Black Panther. Not only will they recast the Black Panther, they're going to redo that movie one day.
Facts. Straight.
You know what I'm saying? So I promise you, they're going to do a new actor for it. So sorry.
And like, and anytime somebody's like you said, they came, they're going to recast Black Panther. They did it to War Machine, and we were like, okay,
yeah.
Hey, Don,
I'm here now. Get over it.
Right. And like, I bet you he's feeling stupid right now. Terrence Howard, he's like, if I just kept my mouth shut.
If you ever seen his side of things, I don't know who and what to believe, but he is a tremendous actor.
Yeah,
he's a tremendous actor, and if he wanted his money, he should have gotten his money. Like, according to him, taking a $5 million pay cut because they were bringing in Robert Downey Jr. And again, I'm not a stan. Anybody.
Of course.
Could anybody have played him? No, not anybody could have played Tony Stark. But I don't know what anybody else would have looked like. They originally wanted Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, maybe, but Tom Cruise is also one of the most, probably too tall, too big. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, whoever you're going to get, they're going to try and get somebody good to play him. Mm-hmm. Robert Downey Jr. wound up doing a really amazing job playing him. He really got him. He really got the character. But does that mean that nobody else could have done a different but equally great job? No, it doesn't. And it's insanity to think something like that. It's truly insanity to think the only one who could ever play. It's like, I can't. Whenever I see somebody say the only one who could have ever played, I can't imagine that sounding intellectual.
No,
I can't imagine it. Like, when you see typing, it's hard to put inflection on things.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine someone saying the only person they could have ever gotten to play that role was Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
No one else would have come. No, I can't imagine. It's always this big nerd red. No one else could. That's how I can't imagine it being said any other way.
The thing about with Robert Downey Jr. is people forget. Like, I remember, you remember when he was a joke? Yeah. Remember when he got fired off of Ally McBeal for doing cocaine while filming? Like, remember
every so often he'd come back and do that. He did Chaplin, a black and white version of Charlie Chaplin. I thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
But then he went on another cocaine binge or whatever the hell he was going on. It's like,
Yeah, and it's like people are like, "Oh, he can do no wrong." I'm like, he did a lot of wrong.
He did a whole lot of wrong. There are people who get second chances who technically don't deserve second chances. He's one of them. Another one would be, well,
okay, I take
Mel Gibson started doing his own thing,
right? Yeah.
But whatever. Like, anyway,
James Franco.
Look at the Usos.
Yeah. Oh,
in wrestling, look at the Usos, man. These guys. You mean the DUIs? Those guys?
I mean,
how many times are you going to get caught driving drunk the wrong way down a one-way road? How many times does this have to happen?
I think like 8. I think like 8 times. 8 so far.
Jeff Hardy,
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton is a big one. How many times does this have to happen? I don't care how talented the individual is. When do you say Randy Orton? Yeah, is extremely talented.
Yeah.
Extremely talented. He's not like a Batista who's just like a big guy who's just freaking lummox. Like, what are you good for? You're a big. You're almost as bad as Nia Jax.
Me, Bautista, me, hungry. That's how I imagine him talking.
I've seen him talk regular, and
I know. He seems like a great guy, but
he's not. Yeah, he's not a particularly athletic individual. He's just a big guy who's got a great physique.
He's older than what he seems too, because like when he got started, he was like in his late 30s, early 40s.
He's like 51 or older right now.
He's a grandfather. It was a grandfather at the time. I'm like, okay, all right. I understand that. I understand how that stuff can happen, but just like they portrayed Batista like he's such like he's a young dude, like he's been through it. Like, no, he hasn't. He used to be a bouncer in DC.
Nah.
Nobody talks about that anymore.
Batista's just one of those guys. He's just naturally not a very smart guy.
He got out of WWE when he did. He made Vince and Triple H believe that he was listening to them, and he took everything they
He also
told
tried
him.
to get into MMA. That didn't work out very well for him, did it?
Hey, he tried it though. I give up any. If you want to try something,
I don't. No, I don't. Because I've been in too many fights where some little guy who doesn't belong in a fight tries to get into a fight, and it's like, did you not realize that guy who outweighs you by 20, 30 pounds, even by 10 pounds, was going to wipe the floor with you? Did you really think you were going to charge up on him and take him out? Like, did you think that your punches were going to hurt? Like, what is wrong with you? There are people, it's not brave to get into a fight. It's brave to understand the fight that you're about to get into and still walk into it. It's brave when you recognize that it's not going to work out the way that it is in your mind. When you get up and you walk up, you're like, yeah, I'm going to hit him and hit him and hit him, and then I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to kick him, and I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to hit him. And what about the part where he hits you? Even if he does get in a punch and I can't block it, I'll eat it, man. Like, dude, I could take a punch and what? Why? Because daddy hit you before he walked out on mom? Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, what are you retarded? What is the matter with you? There are people who walk up and try and get into fights with, Mike Tyson type people. It's like, dude, there's something wrong with you.
You just instigated your own mugging.
I love that.
No,
Dave Batista went to Ohio Valley Wrestling to learn how to wrestle, was in there for a while, was the biggest lummox imaginable. The only reason why he got popular is because Jim Cornette, who was in charge of it, made him the Leviathan and said, I'm going to put you on a Goldberg-style winning streak. And then he went in, and then when he went to WWE, he had no idea what to do. He said, I didn't learn anything. And meanwhile, everybody else who came out of there, John Cena, Randy Orton, Kane,
Brock Lesnar,
all these other people, extremely over, extremely rich, just from doing the stuff that they do. Some of them got movie deals also, but some of them don't need it. They had good careers, and they have something else that Dave Batista does not have: good finances.
Oh, I was going to say,
because Jim Cornette taught them how to invest their money and things like that. Like, Jimmy actually taught them a bunch of things. And freaking Dave Batista gets out, he was making millions in WWE, comes out, he's dead broke I didn't have a penny when not too long after I left. I got into movies because I was hungry. I was literally hungry. I couldn't take care of my family, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what happened to those millions of dollars you were making? That's just off the paycheck, at least off the freaking, merchandise sales and stuff like that. And he's just one of those people. He just doesn't freaking learn anything.
No, I tell you what it is. He learned from Ric Flair. Ric Flair
was bad with money too. Yeah.
Hey, I've heard some stories that Vince McMahon gave him $800,000 after being told, I'm broke. I got nothing. And they're like,
yeah, Hulk Hogan did that once, and one other person did that once. So he credits that 3 people have done that for him.
I'm like, okay, that's weak. Like, and now I look at these wrestlers now, I'm like, which one of you guys are broke? What's going on with you guys?
Yeah.
But when you said financial stuff, I thought you were gonna say Batista, Lesnar, Orton, Cena all have something that they all have charisma.
Yeah, charisma too. Well, it's hard to have charisma if you're really dumb. I mean, you could be pretty, but that's not really charisma. That's your comeliness.
That's
Dungeons and Dragons term there.
Yeah, that was nice. Oh man, that's wrestling. I'll tell you this: AEW has everything on lock. They got the game on lock right now.
It's funny how the people who were leading the charge before, they're suddenly on the dark shows or on the YouTube shows or not on at all anymore. Remember when they were like, Sunny Kiss, look, and this goes back to the diversity thing. Sunny, you remember Sunny Kiss, right?
Yeah.
Sunny Kiss is on the AEW Dark on YouTube right now. It's like this was a major star that was in the main event stuff. Well, I don't know about main events, maybe main event. I don't know, but they were on the main show and the pay-per-views and all these amazing things. And now relegated back there because now they've got real stars on. It's funny how that works.
Ruby Riot. I'm just saying. Oh, I'm sorry, Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho. Why would you take that name? Ruby Soho is a girl who she goes on a date with a guy and puts out on the first night. It's a Rancid song. It's a song from the band Rancid.
Oh, okay.
And then afterwards is trying to get with the guy, but he's like, I had you. I'm moving on now. And she doesn't understand. Like, why would you take that name?
So she named herself after a one-hitter quitter?
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, might as
Wham
well.
bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, just okay. Hey, whatever she needs to do in order to get herself over. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to put that
because her name is Ruby. I liked Riot, but I guess she can't keep that name. But it's just the idea, like, whatever. You need the freaking. You don't want to do a memnotic anymore. Fine. But for me, it's like I don't know why anybody took a chance on her in the first place. And I'm glad they did because she is actually pretty good. Yeah. And you didn't really get to see that in WWE. It's weird. I don't know, man.
No, what she said about Britt Baker though, it's like, hey, it's like
that was low.
Hey, it was true, and I don't care if it's low. If it's true, you can't. That's the truth. You can't fight the truth.
Who's she dating again?
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole. Yeah, I never really watched NXT, so I don't get Adam Cole.
No, I
look at it. I don't see his wrestling is that great. I see him. He doesn't have any definition. He's short. I don't see what's special about him. I'd have to watch more of his actual matches to see if he's doing something spectacular. But to me, it's like everybody's just doing the same thing nowadays. You remember when Undertaker would do an interview finally later on in life, and he's like, I was always able to do all these incredible things. And I thought as a big man, being able to show off that, like he eventually started doing the walking the ropes thing.
Yeah.
But like, and much, much, much later, he started jumping through the ropes, and tackling people. And he was the first, the suicide dives and stuff like. I think he was the first big person to ever do that.
That's dope.
And he was like, I never did things like that. I could move, I could do all these crazy things, but I was playing the Undertaker role and I had to go slow. I can't, give up my kick because like a zombie, an Undertaker wouldn't do that.
Right.
This is the image that I had. And he kept in kayfabe the whole time. And he was such a great actor in that regard,
Absolutely.
And then later on, other people started just saying, oh, whatever. I can do this, so I'm going to do it. So now everybody's doing it. More than that, finishers. I notice that nowadays they're doing 50 finishers in a row, it seems like. Why? And they're still kicking out of them. Why? Because everybody's doing each other's finishers. It's like if everybody's doing the same moves because you can, it shows that to me, it's just a shit show. There used to be rules in wrestling. Right. It used to be, Stone Cold does the stunner, so nobody else gets to do the stunner.
Right.
Nowadays, after Jake the Snake was off of WWE, the DDT just became a thing. Like everybody was doing it and whatever. But it was a finisher for Jake. Mm-hmm. No one kicked out of the DDT when Jake did it.
Nope.
No one. And no one made it look as good. The closest they ever came to that was Raven, with the even flow.
Yeah.
But nobody did that DDT like Jake. It was just, boom, and it just looked like, oh my God. It looked, oh my God, horrific, terrible, right? Like somebody died. That person's dead. That man is dead. But it was one of those things where it's like, so nobody else was doing the DDT. Nobody else was doing this finisher. It was so strict. that what's his name? Shawn Michaels doing the super kick. It's like
Mhm.
it's a fucking kick to the face. That
Seriously.
sweet chin music.
And
The super kick. Nobody was doing, so nobody else at the time was allowed to do it because it was respect, even for somebody like him. Nowadays, everybody's doing a super kick and multiple times, and who cares?
Super kick party.
Yeah, super kick party. That nonsense. God, I hate the Young Bucks.
You know what? I don't really mess with anybody of the elite because I got into Bullet Club, and if you're Bullet Club, I mess with you. But when they left,
Bullet Club there in AEW.
Yeah. No, they're not the Bullet Club. That is not the Bullet Club.
Thank you.
The elite. I'm talking about the Bullet Club, the Japanese Bullet Club.
Thank you.
I mess with them.
Yeah.
Jay White, God, Kenta, I mess with them. But when you leave and you don't show love to where you that got you over, I can't mess with you. That's why I don't really mess with Cody anymore. I loved Cody when he was in Bullet Club. But then I saw what he did. He used Bullet Club to get himself over, and then made himself, and now you never see him. There's no respect. There's no love. Like,
nah, Cody's a weird one.
Cody knows the business.
Ever since he what?
Cody knows the business. That's why he's so like. That's why he says.
How does he know the business?
No, because he grew up in the business. Like,
no, he didn't.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes.
Let me fill you in on something. He barely knew his dad.
Really? I thought that was Dustin.
His dad was Dustin didn't get along with his dad very well because their parents split up.
Yeah.
But Cody didn't grow up in the business. He would show up once in a while on like Father Sunday kind of thing, but he was still out. Like Dusty was still out on the road all the time. When was he supposed to teach him the business?
Okay, I didn't. All right.
He's still like you still see him talking to the old time guys, we're like, let me tell you some stuff about your father. And he's like, oh yeah, I would love to hear something about my father because I don't know anything about my father,
But he knows all his friends though.
Yeah,
he knows Arn, knows TA Magnum, knows all the DC
Magnum
all
the, TA. Magnum TA shows up once in a while on there.
Hasn't, but
Magnum TA was my favorite, and I believe genuinely he could have been the next Hulk Hogan.
Man, I'm telling you, the fact that he is Tessa Blanchard's stepdad, I'm like, and you know her dad, and you. All I'm saying is there's a lot of drama that could, if they would have had like a reality TV show on wrestlers back in the 90s.
Be like the Kardashians, huh?
No, man, we could have saw how just wrestling's a lot of clicks. It just seemed like it's always who you know. It's like, oh, my clique's the best. Oh, like, whatever. It's a very small community, and it's really
just the guys that you used to drive with. These were the guys who were in the car with you, but that was back in the territory days or in the old WWE days.
I really think we're coming back to that. Like, nobody's trying to take out any, like, outside WWE, nobody's taking out these indie companies anymore. They're saying,
I hear you, but even the idea with there being, it can't be territories really if you're able to go here and go there and go wherever. Like AEW is just in New York. WWE is all over the world, and it can't really be like the territory days.
It's global.
Again. But more than that, the click thing was literally like, there were no planes for the most part. There were very rarely plane rides. Mm-hmm. You were getting in a car, somebody's car or a rental, and everybody's chipping in for it. Mm-hmm. And you guys were just together all the time. So you knew everybody's dirty laundry. You knew the problems that this guy was having with his wife. And, oh, my kid was just born. And, oh, this and this and this. And here's my great uncle who did such and such. You really knew each other well in your own little clique, in your car.
Yeah.
So it's never going to go back to that.
No, but that's why I like AJ Styles. AJ Styles and Finn Balor both acknowledge the fact, like, we're Bullet Club. We're still Bullet Club. We can go to Japan right now and we're good. Yeah. It's just you don't get that same with Kenny and the Elite. And I feel like with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, they would be in Japan right now, but they will both have families. they don't want to like, they're not trying to leave the country to wrestle for like 3 months and then see their kids for like 2 weeks, then go right back out. Going to Japan if you're a wrestler is a young man's game. You gotta do it when like you don't have you could have a girlfriend, but what you go through relationships a lot in wrestling. It's just my
There's some things I don't understand, like AJ Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it if what's his name, CM Punk is with her and loves her and blah blah blah. It's like I get it, but like, do you know how many wrestlers she was with? All of them.
I mean,
like, could you imagine? Could you imagine getting into an argument with somebody else when it's like you're married to someone who your wife has slept with multiple times? She swallowed on and stuff. Like I can't. Like it's a very weird thing. Like I can't imagine Daniel Bryan saying, yeah, Brie Bell or Nikki Bell, whatever one of those two. Oh yeah, I could sit down and marry her and have kids with us. Like, do you know how many wrestlers like Brie and Nikki? Brie and Nikki talked about how they both used to work the guys over, and when a new guy came in, they would both sleep with the guy at the same time. Just to and what do you call it? The one who's married to him said, actually, I really kind of like him. So maybe I'm just going to go and, talk to him and actually go on a date with him. She's like, oh, okay. So they didn't both sleep with him, but they still did that with everybody else.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how could we talk about this?
You've seen some of the videos with Paige.
Oh, man.
And dude, like some of those guys like jizzing on the freaking Divas Championship.
That's disrespectful. I'm like, no.
Plus, like, dude, even after you wash that stuff with soap, you could take a black light. That stuff is still there. So how many other people didn't know that was the case and went and kissed the belt?
Shoot, we saw Charlotte do it. We saw Charlotte do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude.
No. The funny thing is, though, like, Paige is not the only one who have done that in the past. I bet you.
That's
like,
just the video proof we have.
Yeah, like the female type. I'm pretty sure it's seen a lot of fluids.
Yeah.
I'm not putting anybody's business out in the street.
The guys' belts might have also. I don't know. I'd literally be like, if I won the belt, be like, I'll take it in the back. Because they got a new one waiting for me. Because I told Vince, "Fuck you, I ain't taking that one."
Right.
You know, so I'm getting a brand new one.
Yeah, Macho Man did coke lines off that belt.
Right? It's like, dude, I'd be. It's like if mine doesn't have the sticky wrap on it when I open it, I don't want the damn thing. I want this to be straight. No, I'm talking the sticky.
No, I know.
Yeah, straight out of the, not that kind of sticky.
No,
I
was
just
thinking
took
like
this out of the box. I cut the box. It's got the sticky tape on it, like the bubble wrap. There's a brand new belt, man.
You're like, phew.
Forget about it.
I do not need that Randy Orton splooge.
Yeah, that's just like that stuff is just nasty. Like I can't imagine. Like I'm sorry, I just can't. I don't care if it's a professional. How is it any different than a ring rat? How's that different than one of the groupie girls? Yeah, I guess.
No, and also here's one thing with that Paige thing. Xavier Woods did not get any kind of repercussions because
he did.
From his wife.
Well, that too. No, he got repercussions because he was supposed to come over, and he did come over, and then like nothing happened with him for a while. Like he was there and he's wrestling, and then he was gone for a really long time, and then all of a sudden he came out with the suit. And he went to Kofi and Big E, it was like, hey guys, we're gonna work together. I'm like, okay.
Okay,
sure.
I thought the tape came out before
it did. So they were, so Kofi was there, and he was a singles, not Kofi, Xavier Woods was there, and he was he was wrestling and whatnot long before the New Day. And then the tape came out, and all of a sudden we never saw Kofi again for at least 2 months.
Yeah. It's just like, I want to know what happened with Xavier Woods with his wife. She's like, or
he probably had to do a lot of begging.
Or what did happen before he was married? Like,
no, he was married.
That makes it more funnier. That makes it like it just says, ladies, if you're gonna get with an athlete of any kind, just know there is a 4 out of 5 chance he's gonna cheat on you. Not because he wants to, it's because he has opportunity.
Dude, that's one of the reasons why I got out of the army. Because you can't get married in the army. Like, wives cheat in the army. I don't know what it is. There's this thing in the military housing, right, for the families, that whenever the soldier goes to war, and back in the day, back when I was in, before we had all these, before Iraq, before 9/11, there were no wars. So the only people who were really gone for a long time were us infantry guys. We'd be gone for 8 months out of the year. Me, I was 8 months out of the year, 2 years in a row in freaking a swamp in Georgia.
Right.
You know? But nobody else really left. There was no deployments for the most part, unless you were, you were assigned to go to Korea or Germany for a year. But like, yeah, whatever. It's like, whatever. Anyway, and if you were, then you were out banging somebody for sure. But nowadays, it's like, whatever. The wives had this thing where the garbage cans out front, if they turned the lid upside down on the garbage can, that meant my husband is on deployment.
Real? Wow.
That was their red light.
Or green light. The green light.
Well, there's the red light districts. In
right.
So that's the reference.
Right.
That was their red light, right?
Like,
not great for raccoons either. But literally, like, that's one of the things that military wives would do. And it's like, that's why I was just like, I want to get married. It's like, do you have somebody, in mind? I'm like, no, I just want to get married in general. Like I want to settle down and have a family and stuff like that. Like, dude, get out of active duty before you do something like that. That's the reason why I went into the reserves, the National Guard specifically, because I didn't want that. They're like, dude, it doesn't matter what woman you have. I don't care if you find somebody overseas, you find somebody local, you find somebody who you think is a peach. You marry a virgin, she's going to be a slut the first time that you go out for deployment. I'm like, wow. It's just
encouraged. I would say it sounds like it's encouraged.
It's normalized is more likely, but
and I just imagine the counter like, well, he's overseas doing God knows what. Like, that doesn't make it better.
Have you ever seen, I think it was The Hurt Locker. You ever seen The Hurt Locker?
Yeah.
Just that first 5-10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
That wife who records herself having sex with some other guy. It's like,
why?
That's just the worst. That's literally the worst. Can't imagine that. I turned the movie off not too long after that.
But the funny thing is, that movie got Jeremy Renner Hawkeye. Who knew?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I guess hey, fail forwards, fail upwards. But man, wow, we're going on 3 hours.
Yeah.
Sorry for keeping you longer.
I'm tired.
Thank you for coming in, Bill. You're awesome, man. They like, I know you got kids, you're tired, man.
I'm hanging in, man. Hey, tomorrow's a weekend, bro.
Hey, enjoy the weekend, man.
Well,
okay. Speaking for Bill at Comic Book University, this is 1407 Gray Mountain Lane. Signing out. Oh wait, crap.